quality and nutritional profile of food products. And we will conclude the day with a tutorial session titled Classroom Activities, discussion on current innovative food technologies and their impacts, which will be an interactive discussion for all participants. So let's begin the day with enthusiasm and curiosity. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Antonio Rapso to deliver the first lecture of the day. Welcome, sir. The stage is yours.
Good morning. Welcome you to this fifth day of the conference, and we will start this first session titled "Fermented Traditional Wine from Palm Trees and the Microbial Nutritional Attributes and Health Impacts." So, the traditional wine from palm trees is fermented from the sap of diverse palm family plants, and here we have some examples. I think that most of these can be of your knowledge. So we have the coconut palm, the oil palm, the ron palm, date palm, kettle palm, nipa palm, and raffia palm. One of these, I believe, you have here in your country. So this palm wine is common in tropical regions of the Asia, Africa, and South American continents, where these palm trees grow. In these locations, the fermented drink from the palm trees is of great significance to the people. However, similar to other traditional fermented foods, in these regions the production of palm wine occurs by chance inoculation with uncontrolled fermentation. So this is one of the major issues. Therefore, discrepancies in the stability and quality of the product are rampant. The nutritional profile of palm wine, we can say it contains in the sap, in palm sap, sugar, protein, fat, and mineral matter. It is generally regarded as safe, with beneficial lactic acid bacteria and Saccharomyces yeast species that possess probiotic attributes. Here we have the major constituents of the sap of the palm wine. You can see its interesting values regarding total sugar and also some vitamins, like the example of vitamin C, vitamin B1. We have also some other micro elements as iron and, for example, manganese and zinc with interesting content, and of course we compare with the recommended daily intake. The palm wine beverage is linked to high content of amino acid, potassium, zinc, and iron, and also as a good source of vitamins, especially from the complex B1, B2, B3, and B6. The nutrition profile of this palm wine makes it a good medium for microbial growth. Of course, due to these several characteristics, of this content of protein, minerals, so it can be, and also sugars, of course, can be a good medium for the microbial growth. Due to the rapid fermentation by these microbes, hydrolysis of sucrose, fructose, and glucose can occur within 24 hours, so more or less a day. They are then converted to lactic acid and acetic acid and also ethanol. So this action reduces the pH of palm sap to slightly acid pH to 5, making it unacceptable to consumers as a drink when this occurs. The activity of the microbes in the palm wine produces phenolic compounds, so the fresh sap contains around 0.33 mg per liter of phenolic compounds that rises up to 1.24 within 58-60 hours, beyond which there is very little change during this period. One of the bioactive peptides produced by lactobacillus organisms like Bulgaricus, Acidophilus, Casei, and Plantar is melatonin, which acts evidence on the pathways mechanism that are responsible for the production of bioactive compounds such as polyphenols during palm wine production when we compare with other wines, especially those ones that are produced from grapes, and more common in most countries. So, however, the work of these researchers I'm citing here, Eruko and Aaron and colleagues, shed some light in how bioactive compounds in raffia palm wine improves the antioxidant activities. The overall quality of palm wine is influenced by metabolites that are produced by the microbes to give it a distinct taste and flavor. And so the lactic acid, the acetic acid, amino acids, and esters are compounds that can influence also, of course, the flavor of the final product of the palm wine. So, some species of this lactic acid bacteria and fungi synthesize aromatic amino acids, leading to distinct aroma of the palm wine drink. For example, the lactobacillus contributes to the biosynthesis and metabolism of glutathione. That is a very important antioxidant with vital role for cells protection, such as the hepatic cells, the hepatocytes, also the erythrocytes, and other human body cells against the injuries provoked by toxic compounds. Here we have this palmyra palm, where we can also produce this palm wine, this fermented drink, and we have it in India, mainly in the center and the south region. So and this is also about the distribution of this palmyra tree around the world. We have not only, of course, in India, but some places in South and Central America and in the African continent. And the palmyra tree, we have some specifications and properties related to each part of the tree we will use. So in the root, these authors, Prasad et al., identified antioxidant, antidiuretic, anthelmintics, and diabetes properties. The same properties regarding antioxidant, if you see, are common to every part of the palm tree. Wherever we are talking about the roots, the fruit, the leaf, or the flower. And then, of course, in some of these parts, we have some specific properties related to each one. The same authors, Prasad et al., also identified how this can act, especially in the reactive oxygen species. So, and we have these health benefits that can act by scavenging of this reactive oxygen species. So they can have an important role mainly in the prevention and several diseases and several issues regarding our health as they are present in this figure in this illustration. And the health benefits are identified as especially from what is extracted from the sap regarding the cardiovascular diseases, also immunoprotective, anti-cancer. They are also responsible for electrolyte balance. They can be dermoprotective and improve the eye health, as well as anti-diabetic, hepatoprotective, and anti-anemic. So this can be very interesting also on this method. We can say that this traditional wine from the palm trees is a fermented alcoholic drink produced in several countries of the world and has been described as a functional drink. This is because it contains high level of macro and micronutrients, and most especially beneficial microbes to promote certain health benefits. Of course, you have to take into consideration that the alcoholic content of the drink can vary from 4 to 6% of alcohol content. There is a lack of standardization in its production. This is one of the main issues, and thereby resulting in variations in taste, color, and aroma due to differences in sugar and ethanol content across different production countries and locations and sites. Research into the biochemical properties of the drink during and after production will be very useful in determining the level and method of production for obtaining optimum benefits for consumption, as well as helping the elongating its shelf life. This is very important in this way. So additional safe practices here, the safe practices during the process, flow, and packaging will eliminate the risk of contamination by extrinsic factors. And also, it is noteworthy to emphasize the need for adequate labeling of the packaged drink to include the sugar and the alcohol content, because as we already mentioned, this can be distinctive in different ways. Of course, depends on the site and the location and the way we will produce the drink. So as this would assist with making the product consistent in qualities. I think this is one of the biggest challenges when we talk about the production of this drink, of this palm wine. So furthermore, this will provide useful information to those that require it for medical and health purposes, thus helping to promote the international market for palm wine, thereby boosting the socioeconomic development of the producers. So let me know what is the consumption, your experience about palm wine here in India, and what do you think about it? How can it be relevant in sustainable ways for the local producers? How is valued this product from palm tree? Let me know if you have any experience in your regions. Please let's discuss a little on this.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So I'm from basically from the southern part of India,
Yes.
that is Kerala. So in our area, it is widely cultivated. We call it as local toddy. So it is cultivated, and most of the people will bring it, and it is like it is like it is um, it is not having that much what it is traditionally consumed over Kerala, where I belong to.
Yes, but they are finding for some standardization for the ways to produce and to trying to produce it for a more general market, or not only in the traditional in tradition for traditional consumer or local consumer.
Um, yeah, we will buy it also from markets.
Okay.
We will buy it and we will also consume it.
Okay.
Uh, it is not that much label, but we will buy it and we will consume it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your sharing.
So they don't make it like they make it in industries. It's just like a cottage industry that's made in rural areas and then consumed.
Yes, they consume in rural, but in industry. My question is if here you have only that kind of traditional production and the local consumption, or if you are also developing some industry and mass large production. That was what I would like to know of the situation you have here, because you have for the data I collected, I see special from the central regions to the south. You have a lot of these trees and the traditional consumption. What I would like to know if there is an intention, or already if you have this from the companies, from the industry, to make some production in a large scale, and of course they improve the standardizations, all these aspects regarding the quality of the product. That was what I would like to understand about.
Sir, it is available commercially.
Yes.
It is, I don't know, it's not available in Delhi this side, but in South India, in cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad, I don't remember the name. It's called Neera, N-E-E-R, the name of the company, and they also advertise these properties and these benefits of.
Okay. But they sell to other regions of India and even to other countries, or it is specially located on that south regions.
It's only local. Probably it may be
Local.
available in Amazon in India, but I'm not sure.
Okay. because I think that it would be interesting, of course, after the quality standardization of all this, to try to put this interesting drink in other regions, and why not in other countries, because I think it's very appreciated for local people, and of course that could be also more work and in the vision of the economical position. It could be interesting, at least from my perspective. I know perhaps I'm wrong, but because not all the products we think, of course, can have that capacity. Some products are more interesting to be only produced and consumed locally. But I don't know this. I think this drink can have some potential to be spread, to be widespread, and to be even exported to other locations.
So the company that was talking about, it has to be consumed within probably 8 hours or 6 hours. So
Yes.
it's probably not yet ready for exporting, because it will have
Yes,
to be
yes,
processed
at this
further.
moment.
So my question is, you mentioned melatonin and glutathione. How does lactobacillus in it, what is its mechanism of action? That does it act on tryptophan or its precursors? How does it work? Melatonin. And
Yes.
does it have any significance in terms of the RDA that of melatonin that is required? Would it
If it is?
any require daily allowance, that is recommended daily allowance of melatonin? Would
No.
that have any significance?
Yes, yes, we don't have that values of recommendations, but we found in the literature that it can be a very interesting also research field, and of course the properties of this drink, of this wine, are not so well studied, especially internationally. But of course, it also related with its consumption and with its consumption. So one thing also depends of the author. If we see a product that can be of interest from international or global perspective, people will be more interested in studying it. So that's why I was asking it's widespread, and if it is only for local interest, or we can think on it or a more global interest. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Sir, as he mentioned about that Neera, like I have also heard about it, but it's like considered as non-fermented and healthy drink.
Non-fermented.
Huh. But whereas toddy, it's like fermented and alcoholic. So in Kerala, most probably like it's like we get it locally. Like
Okay.
if you go in any village or any area, there'll be any one or two toddy shops.
Okay.
Huh. So it's like not marketed widely or labeled or companies or like that and all. It's available wherever you like any place of the Kerala you find any village, you ask them where the toddy is.
Okay.
They'll show you the shops.
That was my question. If you have already any company or anyone interested in make some standardization and label the drink and spread the marketing. So that was my question. So at this time, you only have that local.
Exactly. But local also it's like widely available. So it's not like only particular village or particular place. In all the 14 districts you will find like wherever you
Okay.
go, it's widely, very commonly available. If you ask for the toddy, it's nobody will say that okay, there is no toddy available in this place, only that place.
I think perhaps it could be interesting to see if it would be interesting to make that kind of work.
Again, also that concern comes in like wild and domestic. Even if
And
that is, even
could be, I think, a very interesting, very interesting work, because of course when you produce it regions, this drink, and how it is sold, and then compare the differences and make some sensory analysis, some physicochemical analysis, and that would be, I think that would be interesting. And of course, if we intend to make it a more global product, and to produce it in an industrial way with standards, very specific standards of quality, this should happen. We should have the product with very similar characteristics. So that
sir,
would be
what about
interesting.
this point of view of yours? Like You said that it has antioxidant property and it has high sugar. So how
Yes.
can it like,
Yes.
won't it lead for diabetes more?
Yes, but they have also some other contents that can be very interesting in this way. And of course, it is important to say this should be included in a balanced diet. And of course, you have also here the content of alcohol. So it's like wine. In wine, for example, we have also antioxidant elements, resveratrol and other polyphenols, but also you have to pay attention to alcohol. So the idea is also from the sustainability point of view, and this I believe would also improve and increase the work in some of these regions and the places of work and the industry in these places. But of course, you have to pay attention not only for one component, but all you can find in the food matrix. And so yes, you have high content of sugar and to pay attention on it. But of course, this content of sugar can also vary. We find in some places where this total sugar is not so high than the other. So this is why it is important to establish that standards for the production, because this way it's complicated to talk or to speak about their standard properties, because this content we will find very distinct differences, very different high differences in this content. Depends on the way we will produce.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, is there any toxicity related to its overconsumption, or that this much amount we have to drink or take it per day, as it contains, you have mentioned macro and micronutrients also. So there any toxicity reported?
No, at this moment that I know the studies, of course, if you will consume a lot, toxicity will happen as with with every foods. But at this time, no. Some problems are regarding the safety, and of course the way it produces. It can be some problems reported with that, but toxicity regarding the you are mentioned to the best of my knowledge, no.
Means any value above which we should not consume it, any such value is not mentioned that.
No.
Okay. Like should we take it on daily basis or
No, on daily basis. Let's see. Of course, the toxic values are those reported in the guidelines for everything you have in the USDA, for example, and also a health organization, that you should intake more of that limit that is established. But of course, this is an alcoholic beverage, first of all. So of course, it is not supposed you drink as more as you can. So it be introduced in a balanced diet in the right portions. It's like the wine, for example. When we talk about the beneficial properties of red wine, it is not you to drink 5 liters of red wine per day. No, but that message is very important to give to the communities and to the people, because when people see, oh, it is good for our health, it is beneficial for our health to drink wine. So they will think that can drink whatever they want. And no, of course we have the benefit until some point, but if we drink, the foods are the same. If we eat more than we need, of course we may have some problems related to them. This is the same. This is the same when we talk about this product, and of course we are talking about alcoholic beverages, and of course these benefits we can have also in other products. Here the idea is also, not only for this, because we have here a drink with some interesting properties that can be similar. Perhaps we can make that comparison with other kinds of wine, red wine, but of course with a lot of moderation. Yes, that is an important message. We must pass to the populations. That is very important to do. Yes, of course.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you for your question.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, how does this palm wine support our immune function and gut health?
Our immune function. It is similar to the wine. It has interesting compounds that can activate our immune system. But of course, this is a very emergent topic, and it is not well studied. It is not well studied. The mechanisms and all of that need to be furthermore studied.
Okay, sir.
And it is also regarded with the micronutrient contents that have, of course, well-known relation with the immune system. But this could be very interesting to make further studies and immunological studies that are not yet contents of these drinks. So that's the reason that I think it would be first of all, to standardize a way of production, and then when we have that standardized product, let's see how is its content, the properties, and then proceed with further studies. Because with what we know today and what the kind of production we have, it is not perhaps not so interesting, because I will study this drink from this producer, and when I go to another one right on their neighborhood, we see a very different product. So I think one of the great challenges is to standardize the production process, and to have a product we produce in these terms, in this manner, in this condition. So this is the final product. So we will see what are their contents, their benefits, and so on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Previous people.
The place, the city, Nira.
Nira is the Neel. In Hindi, we call water.
Water.
Pani is the 7 months of water. This is called Neel. Neel. Some company named this the Nira. Okay. Nira is something in India meant with the help of NGOs start a program, just like people use alcoholic beverage is just like a palm, just like a fermented drink in the alternate option of alcoholic beverages. Okay, and the people consume safely for this for health purpose. Okay, and government certified that it is good for health, and you can consume a little bit in every day. If it is once a week, whatever you demand. So it is the good for health. But in a traditional way, if you see, we know that this is the some palm tree is in my area, just like one ball, earthen pot ball, big size. In this pot, we collect them this uh, in the shape. Okay. Then after, if we consume before sunrise, before sunrise, it is a good for health. But after time pass away, it is convert and fermented into the alcoholic beverages. But it is a, if we consume fresh, it is a very good for health. And in south part, people use consume every day at least 2 liter, 3 liter every day.
Okay.
So it is the beneficial for health.
Yes, and of course that is different. Of course, when you consume it fresh. Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask, in Portugal, is there any traditional fermented drink that share similar microbial or nutritional characteristics with palm wine?
No, in Portugal, regarding this a very similar drink we have to this, it's wine. We have a very high consume of red wine. So that is, I believe, the most known and the most traditional drink similar to this palm wine. It's red wine and also white wine, but more red wine that we have more tradition. Also, not only for drink but also to produce. We have huge fields of vineyards, especially in the north and center region of Portugal, and that's I think the most similar to introduce. We don't have production of palm. We don't have their palm trees, so we don't produce nothing similar to this drink. But red wine, yes, and we have vineyards from grapes. It is what we most. So, anyone wants to make any question?
I can share something about my state.
Yes.
Sir, we have a very traditional drink called Turani.
Called
Turani.
turari.
It's a god drink. God used to drink it in and health. So I just want to share it with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I said from my place, from my country. We are original from Germany, and then we are adopt. But I also like to learn more about what you have regarding this and production about this diversity of fermented foods. I believe for sure, you have not only from the but also vegetables, fermented vegetables you have work. So please, if you want to share more,
Yeah, sure, sir. So in Haryana, during winters, we make kanji.
kanji.
It's a fermented drink basically. We There are many ingredients in it like carrot, beetroot. We grate it and then keep it in the sun, and also small mustard seeds.
Mustard seeds.
Yes. Then a bit of salt and lemon. Then keep it in sun for 2 3 days, and after that strain it and drink it. It's very healthy and tasty as well. So it's consumed in my state, basically in Haryana.
Thank you.
So
And you have studies on that regarding their benefits, their profile, nutritional composition.
yes,
That is a very, in my opinion, that is interesting to share with because I don't know, but perhaps internationally this is not so well known. Maybe, of course, you here know about that, but I think that would be interesting to share that products, that food products with the international community.
yeah, sure, sir.
If you have studies, please share.
There are many studies, but not getting it right now to be the specific studies like
Okay.
what type of health benefits it has. Mainly, it is rich in antioxidant, vitamin C, and healthy good bacteria. that is helpful for gut
Oh,
microbiota.
yes, of course, for the gut microbiota. That is also a very emerging topic of investigation nowadays, and
Yes,
also
yes.
in my country. That is also that the fermented foods are very discussed also in not only in my country but yeah, all over the world. So it is a very important role on the gut health and on the microbiota. Yes.
So, sir, we have many students from different states. So, I would like to
Yes,
request
yes. If each
if
one
they can
share
share their
one,
states.
at least one,
Yes, yes.
one fermented food and
So, like
traditional
we
food,
have
please.
food, like we call it as idli and dosa. Like we ferment, the rice is fermented overnight, and the next day it's grind. Like at the same day, it's like grinded and kept for overnight fermentation. So then we steam cook it.
Okay.
Like if it's called like in mostly they call steam cooked rice idli. Huh? We say call it locally idli, and also as she mentioned about rice, also we say it as payangani. Like the rice water we keep it for overnight, and the next day just like adding any spices like salt or something, we just directly have it chili
Interesting.
and all. Huh?
And I verified also that maybe in all meals you have the chapati and the naan. And I have tasted already very different kinds of that I call bread. For me, it's bread, and different kinds of bread. And someone with also with that was fermented and with fermentation, other no. And I see also on there you have very different perhaps I don't know, from different states, you have different kinds of chapati or naan. No, is that true?
Yeah, in
Yes.
different states we have like in
And
south part.
you mix spices and other elements to the chapati. No.
Yeah, they call this paratha, I think. Like in South, we don't like make like huge varieties of chapatis.
Yes.
Like we least consume chapati. Like in South, it's like rice is the most consumed
The most
space staple.
consumed.
Yeah, exactly. Huh. North, not in North. So that's it.
Thank you.
Sir, in North part, we consume different type of chapatis according to the season. So in summers, mainly is joe,
Joe.
barley.
Oh, barley
Bar-
in the summer.
Yes, in the summer, make chana, black gram, and barley chapati. It's what we say. It's bit helpful in tolerating summers here.
In some?
Summer heat. Summer heat. It helps to tolerate summer heat. Heat waves. Here in summers, temperature rises up to 48 degrees Celsius. So
Very
to
high.
tolerate that, barley and black gram flour is used to make the chapatis. And in winters, we consume pearl millet chapatis.
Okay. So
It's help in tolerating summer winters here. Like temperature is around 16, 17 degrees Celsius. So sometimes in some regions it's 4 as well. So according to the season,
yes,
shifted
you
the
have
chapati.
different kinds of
Yes, yes.
chapati. Anyone more wants to share?
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
So, like from the region where I belong from is Maharashtra. It lies in the western part of India.
In the western.
In the western part of India, and we share a coastal region. It's called the Konkan region, and like basically, I don't know if you're aware of cashew fruit. So from the fruit, we make this fermented drink. It's basically a liquor, and it's called feni.
Penny.
Yeah, you'll find it in Goa as well. So that is one of the fermented liquors which we get in Maharashtra state or in the coastal regions basically. And talking about any fermented food which is like consumed in the whole region, or you can say like a sorghum. It's a type of millet.
Sorghum. Yes, yes.
So we basically ferment it and for almost 2 to 3 consecutive days, and we try to eat it with spiced buttermilk. So that is some sort of combination which we use as a fermented food, apart from like curd and rest of the common food ingredients or menus.
Interesting, very
Yeah.
interesting. All this diversity you you have.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Sir, so here in Haryana, there is also a drink that we have in summers. It is called as Rabdi.
Zari, Zari,
Rabdi.
Dravi.
Yeah. So it is actually made with the wheat flour and oats, and we mix the wheat flour in the water. Wheat flour and barley flour, and then we mix it in water until it gets thickened, and then we gradually add the buttermilk into it, and then we ferment it for the several hours, and then we like serve it after it gets chilled or cool. Like it act as a refreshing drink, and it also like cools the body and it protects from the
Yes.
summer heat.
That must be particularly interesting in the summer, no, because of the fresh sensation.
Yes.
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 Thank you very much for your sharing. Anyone wants to share some other traditional fermented food from your state, from your region?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm from Jharkhand, specifically from Kodarma. So there is a drink, specifically palm wine from date palm. It's called tadi over there.
Yes.
So tappers generally hang the earthen pot at the top of the tree and collect it in the early morning. And local people believed that it is matlab, consume it freshly. So as they believe that it is of high nutritious value and have various health benefits. Also, in Jharkhand, a rice fermented rice beer is there. It is called handi.
Andy,
Yes. So these are the two.
thank you. It would be interesting. We collect all this information and perhaps make a kind of a book with the characteristics of all these foods. I don't know if there is any any publication or any book or any guide with this, but I think it would be very interesting because some of these I don't know, but it is from local knowledge, and perhaps not every people knows this product, especially outside India. And I believe it could be very interesting to make a compilation with all of this, and of course more you have with how they produce locally. Why they consume, what are the benefits seen by the population, and then of course if we have some scientific studies, some profile characterization of their properties, of their components, of their beneficial health. So I think it would be interesting to make a kind of compilation with all of these foods you mentioned, and more you have, and it would be a great ways. Anyone more wants to? No, no.
What I've seen there that in most rural areas, fermentation occurs spontaneously, leading to uncontrolled microbial activity,
Yes, that's the problem.
which ultimately causes microbial contamination. So, and that that leads to foodborne illness among people. So that is what I let you know that often lack of hygiene or awareness or knowledge often leads to life risk among people there. So that's
Yes,
it.
that's one of the reasons it is important to establish some quality standards and regarding the production. Yes, we have talked here.
Yes, sir. So
Yes,
true.
yes, I
So
agree.
true, sir.
Yes.
in regions with limited food diversity?
Sorry. If we can think on various supplements regarding. That's a good question. That's a good question. Perhaps, because when you see the total content of at least of this palm wine that was analyzed, we see very interesting values of zinc, of potassium, of iron. And talking regarding your cognitive deficiencies you have need, perhaps it would be that I know nobody went to study that and to make that, but it can be a good possibility. It can be a good possibility. Why not? Why not to think on a kind of supplement or based on this on this palm? Why not? Why not? Why not? We have here some indicators that we can work on that. Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So I want to share something regarding the different states of India having the different uh, local dishes or the regional dishes according to their tribal population. Recently, FSSAI has Eat Right Thali book. In that book, they have described all the different states. They have described it very beautifully.
Then, if you please share the reference of the book, I would be very interested on it.
It is recently launched. On that day, there was the launching day of that book. Na? So, 26 September was the launching day for that book.
Oh, 1 month ago. Yes.
Yes.
But I'm very interested in learn about it. Yes. If you please share the where I can get the book, where I can see the content of the book, I'd be very interested.
So I just want to share, like in northeast part of India, like I have few of my friends from there. So they who do have few fermented foods like fermented fish. Yes, they ferment the fish and soya bean. They ferment them and they eat, and then bamboo shoot. They ferment it and they eat. It's like a normal traditional dish in Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, and Manipur, like states. It's like commonly available, and they like love it. Without that, they won't eat the food. It's like that.
Interesting.
Thank you.
I never tasted, so it would be interesting also for other people to taste. How is?
Yeah, it's like different. Maybe I don't know. Like I personally experienced, like I could not accept that because they have like different kind of smell and flavor. I haven't like I just tasted bamboo shoot. Because of that smell, I could not tolerate
No,
it.
it's strong. I believe.
Yeah, it's very like a strong pungent smell. So you can't tolerate that. Yeah, fish also like visual absorbent.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's like a blackish type. So acceptance in other states, though those who don't know, those who are willing to taste it, they can. Or else it's like very difficult to. And soya bean also, it's like like we think that okay, it's soya bean basic, it won't be like that. But the smell, I think 500 meters also you'll get that smell. It's like
I
that.
can see that they are.
Yeah, and they like they themselves also say that it has a pungent different smell, but because of the taste and the routine they follow, they don't feel like it's different. They love it.
They love.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you
Thank
for this sharing.
So, you might had come across jalebi as a sweet. You also have tasted it. That is also a fermented food.
Oh yes.
Jalebi, that round jalebi.
Yes, for
That
sure.
is also
Also fermented.
so that is also a fermented sweet available in northern parts of India.
Yes.
You might have enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yes.
I enjoy almost. I think everything sweet. I have enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yes, it's easier to. Yes, and you have also a very different kind of sweet dishes. I tried. I don't know. Perhaps more than 10 or varieties of dishes, and you mix also the fermented sweet dishes, and also the dried fruits, and also some dairy products on the sweet. It is very different the way you use your raw material, your ingredients, to think on and to elaborate the in this case the sweets. Yes, yes. And though at least all I've tried, very tasteful.
And here we have like tortilla, that is chapati also, that is known as khamiri roti.
Okay.
In that, yeast is used as a fermented product. So we use yeast in that chapati, and it is known as khamiri roti. So it is basically a Mughal time cuisine that
Okay.
is used with a basically with a non-veg gravy dishes cuisines it is
Cuisines.
used.
Thank you.
Chole bhature. He might have not eaten that. Sir, I think you are not aware of chole bhature, that fluffy chapati that is also fermented
Fermented, yeah.
paratha, or you can say that tortilla. That is also
Tortilla.
fermented product. Yes. Thursday. Manan.
It is very good experience for me for a good interactive session with every
Sorry?
uh, I wanted to say thanks to everyone, my teachers and everyone.
Sir,
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, why is it necessary to changes in wine microbiome during the fermentation?
Why?
Why is it important to change in wine microbiome during the fermentation?
To change the wine?
Change in wine microbiome.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. Why is important to change the wine? I don't know. That's a good question. Who wants to answer it? Why it is important to change the microbiome in the wine? That's a good question.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, in our communities, it is very difficult to accept an alcoholic drink. So perhaps it's have several health benefits and large number of bioactive components which are helpful in curing several diseases. But still, it's lacking in our society that we accept a certain drink which is alcoholic.
Yeah, especially in some places. I think that alcohol is not
Especially in India, in most of the places we are not consider a alcoholic drink. So
is
that,
not well accepted. Yes.
but I think our generation and generation after us can promote wine as a dietary component as it has several health benefits. Thank you.
And perhaps I don't know, but in some regions it is also prohibited, isn't it? The alcohol consumption. Of course, we have to take that into consideration.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I just want to ask what kind of foods pair well with palm wine?
What kind of food?
Foods pair well with palm wine.
Foods we can with palm wine. It depends. I think that that fish could be very interesting. The mixture of palm wine with fish. I experimented once the palm wine, and with fish it went very good. But of course, that will depend. That will depends of your preferences, and of course of the location where the palm wine is produced and the other food products that are available. I have that experience with fish, with fresh fish, but of course you may have it with other with vegetables, with meat, and that will depends of the because this can be produced in distinct environments, distinct places. So of course we will make preference of other local products, and this can vary. But with fish, it results good.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, another dish, fermented dish. So it's known as curd rice.
Curd rice.
Curd rice, yes.
Oh, for the name, I can imagine you are mixing the curd with the rice.
Yes, yes. So firstly, we cook the rice, or if in some cases, if the rice is like in the dinner we cook some rice and it's some of them are left, it's not consumed. So next day we use that rice to make the curd rice.
Interesting.
Okay, there are mixing curd with rice, adding some seasonings like curry leaves, then mustard seeds, a bit of spices or some oil to make it more tasty.
Tasty. Interesting. That
Another thing is we make pal millet khichdi. It's also fermented.
Okay.
We add like we boil the pal millet. First, a bit of it we grind it, make small pieces, not too much, but yes, half or one fourth of the pal millet seed. Then we cook it in water, boil it properly to make it soft. After that, it's kept it overnight, and then in the morning, it's consumed with curd or buttermilk.
Yeah, sometimes the problem of this, and especially when are produced at our house, at home and local, it's the time we need, of course, the fermentation time and the time we need to make this possible to produce. It's not like a normal meal we can make in 10-15 minutes in the oven or at least we are more accustomed, and that's one of the reasons because we don't use very fermented foods, and also and the fermented foods used are industrial ones. So nobody in Portugal make fermented foods in their homes. The time needed for that it's not possible to be conjugated with the lives of people. We are on the era that we are using more ultra processed foods, not even the fresh ones, the normal ones, but the ultra processed foods. People want to make their meals or want to prepare their meals in 5 minutes. So that's the opposite of what are we talking about? The time needed to be one day to another, the fermentation. So it's very interesting, of course, and it would be very interesting to people that time to that. But in my society, that is very, very, very complicated. Yes.
Some of the pickles are also made using fermentation,
Yes,
like
pickles.
radish, carrots,
Yes.
and garlic, cauliflower, etc.
Yes. Yes, you have some vegetables there also in Europe that are industrialized, of course, fermented. The collie and some kind of other vegetables that are also sold in the supermarket, of course, you buy it already fermented. Because people in their homes don't have the possibility and have the time to make it to make it. So some kind of industrialized fermented products we can find. Not too much, but we can find.
Yes.
Anyone wants to make any comment? To share anything else? No?
So, like, what are your thoughts, like, when you talk about liquor and when we talk about that they share a health benefit? But what I believe is that it's basically the liquor companies which sponsor certain institutes or certain agencies which promotes that consumption of liquor is good for health. Whereas when we see through a perspective, it is more of a like, what do you call it, a hazard for a body.
We have to be very careful with that claims of the promotion of health effects, especially when we are talking of alcoholic drinks. So I think some of you have already made this appointment, this question, and it's not the specific case of palm wine. We have other alcoholic drinks that we may, or the industry, or who sells these products are claiming for their health benefits. And of course, you can find in their composition some components that are related with health, but of course, those components are also found in other products, and perhaps in these other products, the health benefits are even higher. And the alcohol, until now, we can find no health benefits that come from alcohol, but yes, negative effects. So the question here is the balance of what can I achieve from good and not so good from that product. And of course, who are who wants to sell the product, will want to highlight the benefits, the health impacts, but we have to analyze very well the product as entire, and have to see the whole component. See, of course, the portions we will intake of that product in the specific case of this drink, because people that not usually have the habits to drink it or to drink alcoholic beverages, they can have the benefits related to this in other products, and not with the intake of alcohol. And of course, for people that are not allowed to drink alcoholic for very kind of reasons, of course, they will not have to start to consume alcoholic drink to have that benefit. So this is very important, the way we pass the message and the way we see this kind of products, because one thing is the vision or is the message that the seller or the company or any people wants to sell the product, and the other thing is the vision you must see as potential consumers. So of course we must be very cautious, especially when we are talking about alcoholic content beverages. Yes, that is a very important appointment of this session, and for when we are talking about alcoholic beverage and the benefits related to them that we can find, of course, but be cautious.
It's like, what I believe is, when we use the term fermented drink, given that it has alcohol, it
Yes.
plays with our mind that okay, it's a fermented drink. Might be it is good for health. Might be it can be good for our health. But whereas when we see in the clear perspective that it's basically alcohol and it has nothing to do with the word fermentation. Whereas when we talk about fermentation with the foods which don't give the end product as alcohol.
Yes.
So that's what I believe is that we should bifurcate these two things. That fermented drinks, it should be only with the ones which don't give the end product as alcohol.
Yes.
Whereas alcoholic drinks means basically the only drinks which gives the end product as alcohol.
Yes, yes.
And we should not combine these two words, like fermented
Yes,
alcoholic
yes.
drink. It
Yes,
plays with our mind.
yes,
That's what
it's
I
important.
think.
But I'm talking about this specific that we have a fermented and with alcohol.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. It's important not to mix the concepts. So we can have fermented drinks without alcohol. Yes, yes, of course, for sure.
Just for example, when we if we will try discussing this with some kid who's in standard 10th or class 10th, what he'll get confused with if it is a fermented drink, which he's been taught that fermentation is a good thing because curd is also fermented food product.
Yes, yes,
It will play with his mind. That's what I think.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes, for sure.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So my question is that it has good amount of ethanol, and ethanol causes gut dysbiosis. So even if it has a lot of good microbes, and it is good for the microbiome, it will just cancel out each other, right?
Yes, you have to balance all this, and apart of the good microbes you mentioned, that's why it has also polyphenols and components that are also studied as well cardioprotective. But in the other way, of course, you have the ethanol. Here you have to see, and you have to see the balance. Yes, yes, for sure, you are right.
Definitely.
Yes, yes, you are right.
Thank
That's
you.
for sure. Anyone? I don't know. We are also in time. I don't know. One more question? One more comment? Yes, please.
Uh,
Good morning.
Sir, in our country, ghee is consumed more than butter, which is known as like clarified butter. But in most of the countries, clarified butter is less consumed or like it is banned. So,
Why? Why it is banned?
like uh, ghee is considered ghee or like clarified butter is like we believe that it is more nutritious, but in other countries people don't use it. They use butter over ghee. why
Uh,
why is it like that?
yes, but I don't know why it is banned. It was why that kind of butter is banned. Yes. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session. Your lecture offered a fascinating look into the science behind this traditional beverage. You explained how palm wine prepared from different plant species like coconut oil and date palms holds great cultural and nutritional importance in many tropical regions. We learned about its rich composition of sugars, protein, minerals, and B vitamins, which makes it an excellent medium for beneficial microbes such as lactic acid bacteria and yeast. These microorganisms not only shape the flavor and aroma but also add probiotic and health promoting properties. You also highlighted the need for standardized production, safe handling, and proper labeling to improve the quality, safety, and market potential of palm wine. Thank you once again, sir, for sharing your expertise and deep insights. Since we spent the last session discussing all the kinds of tempting cuisines and sweets, it's not fair to it's fair to give ourselves a little treat too. So let's head for a refreshing tea break. Please join us after the break as we'll be having a national speaker, Dr. Amit Kumar Rai, for the second lecture. Thank you so much. On, now, now we move on to our second lecture of the day titled Biotransformation of Food and Feed. The session will explore how microbial process can improve the nutritional value, safety, and functionality of food and feed materials, an area of growing importance in sustainable food innovation. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker, Dr. Amit Kumar Rai, Scientist D at the National Agri-Food Biotechnology Institute, Mohali, Punjab, India. He is a scientist there since January 2023. He has served as scientist at DBT Institute of Bioresources and Sustainable Development Regional Center, Sikkim, India from 2012 to 2023. His current research focus is on fermented foods, microbial biotransformation, bioactive peptides, and enzymes for production of value-added products. He has completed his doctorate from CSIR Center Food Technology Research Institute, Mysore. Dr. Amit has contributed in the area of food and nutritional biotechnology for the production of nutraceuticals and functional food using microorganisms associated with Indian traditional fermented foods. Further, he has studied microorganisms associated with high edited and authored 6 books and 34 book chapters with more Academy of Agriculture Sciences 2025, Associate Fellow 2023 from Indian National of Food Scientists and Technologists, India. Young Scientist Award 2015 by Association of Sciences. He has supervised 3 PhD students and serving as an editorial board member. Warmly invite Dr. Amit Kumar Rai to deliver his lecture on biotransformation of food and feed.
फोन पे कर देता हूँ सर, आपकी आ रही है, हमारी नहीं आ रही, कोई बात नहीं। ये उल्टा तो नहीं जा रहा हूँ, तो मैं फ़ोन पे कह देता हूँ, मैं कह देता हूँ फ़ोन पे कि आप स्टार्ट करो ना। क्यों? मैं उससे कंट्रोल कर लूँ अपना, दूसरी उससे, दूसरे में ज्वाइन कर लो, पर्सनल में आप वहाँ से कर सकते हो, तब तक ठीक करा लेंगे। हाँ अमित सर, या सर आप स्टार्ट कर दो सर, क्योंकि हमारी साइड से थोड़ा सा स्लो इसका इशू है, वो हम ठीक करवा लेंगे, तब तक आप
मेरी आवाज वहाँ आ
आपकी
रही
आ
है?
रही है सर, परफेक्ट।
ओके, फाइन। So, good morning, everyone. I hope my screen is visible properly. Okay. So, first of all, my sincere apologies that I was not able to join personally. I wish I would have loved to talk in front of you, because that would have been much better actually. And a big thanks to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to talk something about our research, that what we are doing and how we are working in the aspect of biotransformation of food and feed. So, before coming directly to the talk subject, I wanted to introduce my institute to the candidates. It might be, I would love if you would like to visit our institute. Our institute is National Agri-Food and Biomanufacturing Institute under Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. And the vision of our institute is food and nutritional security through agri-food biotechnology research and innovation. So we have two major departments, food and nutritional biotechnology, agriculture biotechnology, and a well-supported biomanufacturing unit, which is being recently inaugurated. So we, starting from basic science to technology development to scale up, we have facilities for all of them. So helps in production of functional food and feed, and what is the importance in the global market. So we have functional food or food component that has a specific health role or a functional property, like food with a antihypertensive property, or food with more of vitamin, specific vitamin like vitamin B12, or food that can help in improving mood, weight management, or any particular health like digestive issue or heart disease, or even nowadays we have food for skin and improving skin and properties and beauty products as well. So there are many players in this functional food industry. If you these are some of the important players globally, like PepsiCo, and you definitely see some ads that you eat particular food, you will get weight loss, or this particular food will improve the brightness, etc. So these are nothing but functional food. Now, if you see how functional food is different from nutraceutical, people generally get confused that what are functional food and what are nutraceutical, and are they both same or they are different? So there is a thin line of difference between both. Nutraceutical is a commodity derived from the food, like if you talk about peptide or you talk about a particular polyphenol or only vitamin B12 capsule, that will come under nutraceutical. But if a food component like a curd with improved vitamin B12 or a fermented soybean product improved with bioactive peptide, that is called a functional food. So microbial strategies or biotransformation can be useful for developing functional food with improved specific components. Now, if you see the global market, definitely the functional food market is increasing, and it is much increasing at a faster rate, specifically after COVID, when people are looking for food with improved immunity, food with improved several other aspects, and among them, plant-based fermented food, functional food are improving more. So this is the trend which is there, and it is expected to grow much in 2032 or even beyond that. So if and the second important aspect is the regulation, like we definitely take medicines for hypertension, diabetes. Now there are regulation which governs this application of functional food or delivery of this functional food. Like you have a FOSHU in Japan, like they have developed several food products, like food with improved gastrointestinal condition, food with that related to blood cholesterol level or sugar level, blood pressure. Like there is a product in Japan called sour milk. It's called calpase. It's a fermented milk product which has two peptides, VPP and IPP. And these two peptides have been clinically proven, not these two peptides, the fermented milk product enriched with these peptides have been clinically proven to reduce hypertension. So now, if a food is giving you some health benefit, definitely it has to be governed with a regulatory agencies. And like FOSHU in Japan or FSI in India are working towards creating regulations for new foods which are targeted for improving a particular health conditions. Now, if you see fermentation technology or why fermentation technology, because fermented food or such things are done by microorganisms like lactic acid bacteria, yeast or bacillus, and these organisms, they produce different enzymes or metabolites which helps in transformation of food to a functional food. By, like, for example, I'll give you some examples in next few slides where protein or carbohydrate can be hydrolyzed or bioconverted into nutraceutical or functional food based products. Now, in India, especially, if you see, and not only in India, in other countries as well, fermentation technology is a traditional biomanufacturing. Actually, can we call it a traditional biomanufacturing? Because curd is, you're hearing curd or fermented milk products since many years, even in Mahabharata or Ramayana, and is other product like wine you're hearing since many years. So this is nothing but a traditional biotechnology which is there, and we are trying to improve it by understanding what are the role of microbes, how this microbes can help in fermentation, but for development of a standard product, but also a product with improved health benefits. How we can design this product with improving a particular metabolite which can target a specific health condition. Now, if you take our country, we are blessed actually. If you see, coming from north to south or east to west, every district they have a unique food system, and every district have a unique traditional food system. Like food is prepared traditionally, and if you focus, yeah,
Sir, slides are not moving.
okay,
Yes, and sir, do it on full
slides are
screen.
moving out. Which you can see which slide? I am in the 7th or 8th slide.
I think you are on third, fourth.
This is
And
the first
full screen, sir.
Yeah. Now it is full screen.
Not yet, sir.
Oh, then I have to change it 1 minute.
No issues.
Oh, you would have called me. Now it is full screen. Is it full
Not
screen
showing,
now?
sir. Not showing, sir.
You cannot see the slides also.
No, sir. No, sir.
Oh.
I think, sir, you can start again. You just stop your screen and restart. Now we can see your slide, but no, it is not on full. Yes, it is fine, sir. Now, please.
Moving? It is moving?
Yes, moving, sir. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, great. Finally. So, I have already told over these few slides. Let me go directly to this picture. So, and now you can see the our Indian map and different type of traditional food. That slide. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Perfectly.
Good. You can see the slide which shows traditional fermented food pictures.
Yes, yes. We can see
Okay, great.
slide fermented foods of India, traditional.
Okay. So, if you take our country, we are blessed to have diversity of fermented food actually. If you go from northern part of India to south or east to west, the diversity of fermented food, it depends on the traditional knowledge which is there in every district. If you go from one district to another, even if one particular fermented food is produced in a different way. And even if you go to the northeastern part of India, uh, the diversity of these fermented foods are much higher. Like you have this fermented hard cheese product, or you have fermented fish product, fermented bamboo shoot, or even fermented soybean product, which is alkaline fermented product where bacillus or some other organisms are there. Now there is other fermented fish product. If you will be surprised to know that these products are kept in underground. It is a fish. Fishes are generally crushed. They are tight air packed in clay pot actually, and they are kept in underground condition for a period of 1 year. And then specific biotransformation or microbial population, there is a succession in the microbial population which impacts the metabolite of fish protein or fish lipids or anything. So what is important here, why you want to say here is, like, if there is a huge diversity of fermented food in the country from in different region, definitely the microbes associated with these traditional food will be different. And the diversity of microbes, it impacts the transformation which takes place during fermentation. Like if you take two different strains of a particular organism, like Bacillus subtilis 1, Bacillus subtilis 2, they may have a similar taste in the product, but they will definitely have different impact on production of specific metabolites. So there is a great opportunity if of isolating novel strains, applying these novel strains from huge diversity of fermented food, either in terms of either from any region or any other region, for applying them for development of functional food. Now, what is the transformation which can take place actually during food fermentation? If you take this is an example of a legume. Similarly, it can be in other product as well. Like if there is a protein-rich fermented product is there, like fermented milk, or fermented fish. So definitely, if the microorganisms associated with these food are producing proteases, there will be production of several bioactive peptides and amino acids. And then depending on the sequence of these peptides, they may have different type of health benefits. Similarly, there is possibility of hydroamine. So these are the first 5 or 6 is biotransformation of the food substrate like protein, carbohydrate, lipid, polyphenol. So, but there are also possibility of production of metabolites directly from the organism. Like earlier was like the microorganism will produce enzymes. Those enzymes will act on the food substrate and transform them into some other product. But the organism may also produce metabolites like bacterocins, GABA, surfactants, vitamins, fibrinolytic enzymes, which can again improve the functionality of a food. Like if fibrinolytic enzyme, if an organism produces fibrinolytic enzyme and it is dominant in a traditional fermented food product, those products can be useful for heart associated problems. The third and the more important problem with this biotransformation during food fermentation is reduction of anti-nutrition factor. Like if you take the example of a soybean, soybean is rich in many nutritional factors like there are lectin, there are trypsin inhibitors, and some other protein which are having anti-nutrition property. So by the hydrolysis of enzymes, the hydrolysis of the enzymes which are produced by microbes, these anti-nutritional factors can be broken down and you can get a product which is having reduced or no amount of anti-nutritional factors. So how actually, when we say how during food fermentation or biotransformation, you can get product with improved health benefit, this in global scenario, people have worked on these aspects. Like in India, definitely we have worked, but in global, they have even reached to clinical level. So like people have worked on production of fermented food rich in CLA, and that has helped in by animal model. It has been shown that it can reduce anti-inflammatory property, or it can have beneficial effect during cardiovascular diseases. Similarly, polyphenols, when I say, it is nothing but fermentation will improve the viability of polyphenol. So if the viability of a polyphenol is increased, the functional property associated with that polyphenol will increase. So a food which will have more of antioxidant, more of antimicrobial or other properties after fermentation. Now, similarly, if it's a protein-rich food, definitely the food will have more of peptides, and then these peptides, depending on the sequence of amino acid within them, they can have different property like antioxidant and AC inhibitory, like antihypertensive, antidiabetic, etc. So similarly, microbes can be designed, or microbes consortia can be designed that can help in fermentation, not only to give the taste, flavor which you get from traditional food, but you will also get functionality which you sometimes you get or sometimes you don't get during traditional food fermentation. Now, the key one main organism, group of organism which does this job is the group of lactic acid bacteria. Again, there are many lactic acid bacteria. You need to select. Like there are some which are not appropriate also for food fermentation, like a group of Enterococcus, which also comes under lactic acid bacteria, but they have been associated with vancomycin resistance. Or there are some organisms as well, but there are a group of organisms like lactobacillus, pediococcus. People have isolated them and from traditional fermented food and applied for production of fermented food or even functional food with many properties, like definitely flavor, taste, texture. That is one part. But if you want to go for functional food with specific health benefits, so these organisms have been explored in different industry, dairy industry, fish industry, bakery, wine industry, and many other products. So these are like specific examples. These are some specific enzymes which this lactic acid bacteria produce, like levain sucrase or linoleic isomerase, glutamic decarboxylase, which helps in production of these metabolites like EPS, CLA, or GABA, or even bacteriocins, which helps in improving the functional property. So these are some set of enzymes which I am showing. There are many other enzymes that are produced by lactic acid bacteria and other group of organisms, which improves specific. Like for example, if you want to produce a fermented food or functional food, which is which has to be rich in GABA. So you select a organism which produces this particular enzyme, which helps in production of GABA. So like this starter culture selection or a fermentic consortia production will depend on your need or your objective. So these are, apart from lactic acid bacteria, yeast are very important in functional food industry, where yeast has been explored for probiotic, folate, or many other compound, or even for production of different enzymes for transforming the food substrate into bioactive form. So actually in our lab, we focus more on bioactive peptides. So I will be discussing around 20-30% of how bioactive peptides are important and how starter culture can be designed for production of bioactive peptide for specific property. Like if you take examples of different type of protein-rich fermented food, like soybean, fish, fermented milk, or fermented meat product, So specific strain, like if you take soybean, fermented soybean can be fermented using lactic acid bacteria for acidic fermentation. Fermented soybean can also be fermented using Bacillus subtilis for alkaline fermentation. So definitely the organism will give you different product from the same substrate, but the protease machinery, the specificity of proteases that are produced by specific strain of that particular bacteria will result in production of different type of bacteripeptide. And it is not one peptide or two peptide. Like if there is a peptidome which has 200 or 300 peptides, the produced on fermentation. So the peptide, the most peptide, if they have one particular property, the food will be trending towards that particular property. Like for example, in a simple way, like if 200 peptides are produced during soybean fermentation, and out of 200 peptide, if 10 peptides have AC inhibitory property and one or two peptides have antioxidant property, so that particular organism responsible for enriching AC inhibitory peptide during food fermentation, and that will bring a product which is having antihypertensive property. So it depends. You have to screen a lot of organisms for finding a specific protease producing organism which does a particular job which you need. Either you want to improve anti-diabetic peptide or anti-cancer peptide or antihypertensive peptide, that has to be dependent on the specific strain. Now, what we did actually when we understood, okay, in our preliminary study, we found that, okay, two different Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus subtilis 1 and Bacillus subtilis 2 does different job. Like they, even though they give 50% soybean hydrolysis, but the type of peptide produced using two different strain is different. And even though the food is having similar taste, similar flavor, but the type of peptide decides the functionality. So this is nothing but a fermented soybean product of Sikkim. It is called kinema, which is an alkaline fermented product, which is produced, major producing organism is Bacillus subtilis. So when we understood, okay, different strains are responsible. So different strains might be enriched in different season because they are all traditional fermented food. Different season may have different impact on microbial population at strain level, and that may have different impact on production of metabolites. So we collected samples from different season and isolated organisms from different season, identified them, screened many of them, and then applied them for fermentation. So our main objective, see, for example, this particular fermented food production, it needed a amylase producing Bacillus subtilis, which ferments and produces the mucilage which you can see in the picture. But apart from that, our objective was to produce a product where this fermentation takes place, and also there is increase in free polyphenols and bioactive peptide production. So that's why we selected these three enzymes which are important for soybean fermentation: protease, beta glucosidase, and amylase. And based on that, we screened these organisms and we selected two of them which does the job. Now there is a metagenome data which shows the diversity of organism in different season actually. So when you see different season will have different diversity at species level, you can see here. And more important part is, like, when generally we don't consider many hygienic conditions when we have produced it at traditional level, so you find many pathogens as well. We found Bacillus cereus, which is dominant in December and January. We found other organisms which are dominant in one particular season. Like, it depends on many factors, the presence of these organisms. And many of these organisms, like protease, Enterococcus faecium, Staph aureus, are included in critical and high priority list of antibiotic resistant bacteria by WHO. So definitely, we are rich in traditional food, we are rich in many things, but our main objective is to avoid these organisms, so the common people who are using it or consuming it should not enrich these pathogens in the product. So our first objective is to develop a product which has hygienic, and then add protease or beta glucosidase producing organism which improves the functionality of a food. So after a strong screening procedure and fermentative property, improvement of antioxidant and AC inhibitory property, we selected these two strains, Bacillus subtilis KN2B and Bacillus subtilis KN2M. And these two organisms, we did the whole genome analysis and we found how it is similar to similar product which is consumed in Japan. There's a fermented soybean product which you will have heard, natto, and there are other fermented soybean product which is consumed in Korea. So we actually collected genome of Bacillus subtilis which are responsible for similar product from different countries and did the comparative analysis. We found that our Bacillus subtilis K2B was found to be similar to Bacillus subtilis natto, West 195 strain, which is popularly used in Japan for production of natto. And this second strain K2M was similar to a Bacillus subtilis strain which is applied for fermented soybean production in a fermented soybean product consumed in South Korea actually. So what we did, we wanted to see how these strains are important and responsible for biotransformation. So when we did control fermentation using two strains of Bacillus subtilis, you can see the Venn diagram. There is BS2B and BS2M. So this is nothing but Bacillus subtilis 2B, Bacillus subtilis 2M. And then we, in the metagenome data, we found Bacillus amyloliquefaciens and Bacillus licheniformis are also dominant. So we also selected one strain from each to see how they affect the peptidome and other metabolites during biotransformation. And after fermentation, the taste was almost similar in all four. But if you see, when we did the peptidome analysis, we found that many bioactive peptides are unique in each product. Like if you see the numbers in the Venn diagram, which are single actually, 104, 1240, 203, 153. So these are nothing but unique peptides in that particular product. So if you take Bacillus licheniformis, a different species altogether, you have more than 1000 unique peptides in the product. If you take Bacillus subtilis strain only, you have more than 150 or 200 unique peptides in that product. So that actually, even though the similar taste, the presence of unique peptide, and if those unique peptide are having a functional property, any property, the functionality of that particular product will get inclined towards that particular health benefit. So what we did, we screened for antioxidant peptides or peptides which are able to reduce the activity of myeloperoxidase, an enzyme which is associated with oxidative stress. We found these two peptides at the end actually. You can see the sequence like Bacillus subtilis fermented product. This one particular peptide which was found to be able to be having antioxidant property and ability to inhibit the activity of myeloperoxidase. So similarly, these peptides are from different. We also shown that which precursor protein from where they are coming, like beta-glycinin, glycinin, lipoxygenesis, lectin. So that you can see one more thing, that once soybean is hydrolyzed, lectin, a antisense factor, is also hydrolyzed, and so the antisense factor associated with lectin is reduced. So fermentation not only produces this peptide, but these peptides are produced from antisense protein which is present in soybean. The second figure which you are seeing the metabolite profile actually, the metabolomics data, where we have shown specific metabolites which are produced by fermenting soybean using 4 different strains, the 4 subclase or licheniformis. So even the presence or dominance of specific metabolites, it varies when you use different strains. Like when you use different strains of Bacillus subtilis, licheniformis or amyloliquid. So that is why it is very, very important at strain level, not only genus and species level, at strain level to select a culture which does the desired transformation at higher efficiency. So this, if you take example like, and traditionally when we are consuming product, I have shown that in soybean it changes from season to season. So this is a example of a cheese product again in Himalayan region, which is called churpi. So when you see the diversity of microbes in different season, both lactic acid bacteria and yeast, it changes a lot. So that is why if the diversity of microbes in traditional fermented food product, it changes. So the effect of those microbes on functionality also it changes. So today what you are consuming, after 2 months you may have different, you may have similar tastes, but you may have different functionality, and you are not sure that which particular season you are getting a proper functionality. So when you select a starter culture, you should definitely screen and select microbes from different season, see their impact on how it is having impact on your particular metabolite, like anything, either vitamin or peptide or isoflavone or polyphenol, anything. So that actually is tedious screening process should be followed. Now this particular figure, if you see, like the Venn diagram, it shows the earlier one was there, microbial diversity. The last slide was there. The Venn diagram, it shows the different season how it impacts the proteomics data. So bioactive peptide, you see AMJ, OND, October, November, December, January, February, March. It is like different months actually. So we pulled data from different months. We did metagenomic analysis, we did the metabolomic analysis, proteomics analysis, and in different season you get so many different unique peptides, like 373 peptides, 355 peptides. So the uniqueness of these peptides, even though you're getting a similar taste when you consume sample from July or December, but the presence of unique peptides, unique microbes, and functionality associated with microbe, not only active peptide but other peptide also, it changes. The second, again, the this one, the metabolomics figure also shows the different season, the metabolite dominance actually, it varies from one season to another. So definitely the health benefit or anything associated with these peptide or metabolite, it changes from season to season. Now, there is one thing called season to season. Now, you can see this data as well. When we collected samples from Ladakh, Sikkim, and Arunachal also, and when we did the proteomics analysis, so the diversity of bioactive peptide, it is so different. But there are some peptides which are common as well. So when you from Ladakh we analyzed actually 1964 peptide, and from Sikkim we analyzed many other peptides. Even though the distance are different, the total peptides we analyzed from both actually is 1964, and bioactive peptide are 108. So among them, these are the 5 peptides we found which is common in both Ladakh and Sikkim. So definitely there are some dominant organisms which are surviving throughout the year, like it can be lactobacillus species, particular species, or some other lactic acid bacteria which are dominant in different season. But there are some organisms which are not present in summer or not present in winter, and that actually impacts the presence of these peptides when they are consumed from one season to another. Now this particular figure, when you see, we collected samples from different altitude. So the biotransformation of protein in and production of specific bioactive peptide, it differs not only from season, it differs from location, it differs from altitude, because different altitude will promote or impact growth of specific strains. So when these specific strains are produced at altitude of 2000 meter, and some are at 4000 meter, because these samples are collected, if you see the map of Ladakh, there are some samples collected from more than 4000 meters, some are collected from 2000 meter. So we did the proteomics data of what people are consuming there, and we found that, okay, different altitude sample had dominance of different peptide. And there are some peptides, most peptides are common in many other, but the presence of these peptides, the abundance of these peptides may differ from altitude to altitude. And that again impacts the benefit which you can get from these products like AC inhibitory, antioxidant. So these are different bioactive peptides we identified and compared from different altitude. So what we did actually, we again selected, we screened, I am not showing those data that we screened many multiple organisms, and after screening we selected 1 or 2 starter culture, and this particular organism, Lactobacillus rubeti L4 strain, we applied for production of churpi, both milk churpi and soybean churpi. And this technology was developed. Now we are into scale up of this technology, and again we tried understanding the proteomics of the product which we produced in our lab. So the main challenge with peptide, which would have come to your mind, is so these peptides are prone to gastrointestinal digestion. So if if a starter culture is producing peptide which will have this particular property, when this peptide, this food are consumed, it can get affected by pepsin or chymotrypsin, and hydrolysis of bacti peptide it may be lost actually. But it's not only hydrolysis may lose the activity. Sometimes hydrolysis, there are some peptide, group of peptide, which escapes the gastrointestinal digestion. There are some group of peptide which act as a precursor peptide for production of active peptide after gastrointestinal digestion. So it's not only one or two things, multiple things which happens during GI digestion. And what peptide is getting absorbed decides the activity of a particular food product. Like when you see this figure, this we did the proteomics analysis for the churpi we developed in our lab. So the one in red, green and blue, the one in red is the undigested churpi, that it is not digested by GI digestion. The one which is green, these peptides are peptides which are escaping GI digestion, means they are present in the food, they are also present in the GI digestion, like GI digested product. So definitely these are escaping the action of pepsin, chymotrypsin and other enzymes which are associated with GI digestion. And the one in blue are not present in the food product, but they are produced on hydrolysis of peptide which are there in the food product, and these are also bioactive peptide which are produced before absorption. So that's what I was telling. There are different mechanisms which can happen when a peptide in this food product is taken, and actual benefit of that food product depends on what are the peptide getting absorbed after consumption. So there are the opportunity in bioactive peptide is, like I have shown you some 30-40 bioactive peptide in the last slide. So these are peptide which are already reported. Like when we do the proteomics analysis, I've not shown some specific data, but if you do, when you do the proteomics analysis, you get some 200, 2000 to 300 peptide in there. And out of 2000 or 3000 peptide, only 50-60 peptides are peptide which are already reported globally in other food products. So there are opportunity for you to explore the activity of more than 95% of the peptides. So the activity of these more than 90 or 95% of peptide is not known. So what we did, we explored the activity of these peptides. We used computational tool to predict the function of the peptides, and after predicting the function of the peptide, we did the interaction of these peptides with target enzyme under which we are seeing the activity, like ACE. We screened them for antihypertensive property. We seen the interaction of these peptide, that how they are affecting or binding to the AC enzyme, and then we synthesize this peptide and check the activity in vitro model, where how these peptide are able to inhibit the activity of AC. Now this is nothing but a peptide synthesizer, and we check the purity of the peptide which is synthesized, and then these are some of the novel peptide. I have not shown the sequence here because it is some sequence are shown, but after there are some other peptides as well, where which are not reported in other food product, but we have reported in our traditional fermented food product, which are able to reduce the AC activity of AC, which is associated with hypertension. So like this, there are many opportunities of finding novel bioactive peptide in traditional fermented food product, which is produced on biotransformation during fermentation process. So earlier was the peptide which are having single property. Now people are also exploring. This is our product, like fermented soybean hydrolysis which we found, which is also rich in multifunctional peptide. Like peptide, the same peptide will have the ability to inhibit AC as well as DPP4. So you'll be aware that in population, like when a person has diabetes, there are also possibility he will have hypertension. So such food product which are having multifunctional property, like ability to inhibit AC, which is associated with hypertension, and DPP4, which is associated with diabetes, can be useful for such subjects actually. So these are two peptides which we found which are able to inhibit AC as well as DPP4. Again, we synthesized and checked their activity in in vitro model. Now we are going for animal model to validate these functions. Now, similar to soybean or milk, you can also explore these organisms for a non-traditional fermented food product. Like, right, you don't have a fermented food product from rice bean, but because we isolated these organisms from soybean, we explored how it can be useful for other substrates which are rich in protein. And here again, we developed a process where it can be useful for production of bioactive peptide, which can reduce hypertension. And again, the whole setup of experiment was done to identify these bioactive peptides, studying the peptidome, predicting the function, and finding novel peptides. Similarly, we also explored these organisms for production of bioactive peptide from soybean meal, which is again rich in protein and a byproduct of soybean oil industry. And here again, we found some peptides which are able to inhibit AC, so and antioxidants. So these actually fermentation process with innovative biotransformation and production of novel molecules with specific health benefit can be useful for value to some of the low value protein rich product. So these are some examples of that. So apart from peptide, there are other molecules which can be produced or which can be improved on fermentation, and the second fermentation which happens in the gut. So see, peptide, the challenge was, or the opportunity was, that this can be getting hydrolyzed by the enzymes, which are digestive enzymes which are produced. But other molecules and like polyphenols or some other secondary metabolites, they can get transformed by the gut microflora as well. So there are double fermentation. One fermentation which you are doing outside, where you are producing cheese or you are producing any fermented food product, and you just imagine the metabolites. You have seen that how vibrant our production of the metabolites during food fermentation. So these transformed metabolites during food fermentation, when it is consumed, and they get converted to some other metabolites during gut fermentation. So there are secondary biotransformation which happens in the gut, and that can lead to again improving the health benefit. And that actually has given idea of precision nutrition, where the gut microbes, specific gut microbes in specific community or specific population, can have different impact. Like a food which is produced outside, that particular food can have different impact in one particular population and have different impact on other population. It depends on what is the specific microflora which is enriched in the gut and how it impacts the biotransformative metabolites which is consumed by a subject. Now, this is one example which I wanted to give. Now, if a fermented soybean is consumed, like there is a molecule called dietgene, which is a glycoside actually. It has a carbohydrate link. So the viability associated when it is consumed is less. Now, when it is fermented with bacillus or rhizopus, any organism, it is the glycone form is hydrolyzed to a glycone form. So once a glycone form is converted to a glycone form, the viability with that is improved. Now, this a glycone form, when a fermented product with this a glycone form is consumed, now it is found that 50% of the population is able to convert the a glycone form into equal, like dietzyne to equal, and many of them are not able to convert it. So that's why now ones who are able to convert gets equal, which is more active, having more half-life, and having more beneficial. But that benefit you don't get in other set of population. Now, what is the opportunity here? The opportunity is if you can find those organisms from gut which are able to transform dietzyne to equal and add that as a co-starter during food fermentation, you can provide equal to everybody. So this is just an example. Such transformation or such things can be looked into different aspect or different metabolite transformation as well. Now, this is one particular example when we produced Bekang and Kinema, and we did the metabolomics, and we found, okay, different strain are having different impact on improvement of specific metabolites. So if you see specific, like this KN1G, KN2G, KN2M, 2B, they have different impact on conversion of dietgene to dietzyne. Once converter of glycone form to a glycone form. So it has to start from the beginning. You have to select a strain which does the maximum biotransformation of glycone to aglycone, so that that aglycone can be converted to equal. So you can imagine how these microbes at strain level are important to improve your functionality when it is a particular metabolite is absorbed. Now, this is example like when we did the effect of these traditional fermented food in human subject, and we did the microbiome and metabolome analysis of salivary and fecal microbiome. We found that okay, when these fermented food are consumed, and first what they do, they enrich specific microflora in the gut. So people who consume this fermented food, like I have given picture of fermented food, like most of them are acidic except one which is alkaline with Bacillus subtilis. So you see in green part there are some microflora which improves in the salivary microbiome as well, and there are some microflora which increases in the fecal microbiome as well, and there are some microflora which get reduced also on fermented food consumption, and many of them are harmful as well. So there is one challenge like why controlled fermentation is important. Like traditional fermented food will enrich the beneficial microflora which is associated with traditional food production, but it will also enrich the microflora which you don't want. Like we found improvement of lactobacillus species, but we also found improvement of enterococcus species which is not needed. So that is why controlled fermentation with specific organism is very much important, so that you can avoid such enrichment which is coming from traditional fermented food consumption. So the second part, when we did the metabolomics analysis of salivary microbiome, these are examples of more than 200 subjects actually when we did the study. So if you see the metabolites changes in fermented food consumers and non-fermented food consumers, in the gut we found more than 25 metabolites which are significantly changing, and that again have impact on the health benefit associated with them. Surprisingly, when globally people have not reported changes in salivary microbiome on fermented food consumption because that study has not been conducted. But more than gut, we also found transformation of salivary microbiome. Metabolites, changes in the metabolites in the salivary in saliva actually. So that again, we don't know what is the role it may have, because now these studies has to be linked with some biomedical part or that to come to a real conclusion. But what I want to tell you is, when you consume food with fermented food or non-fermented food, that can have impact on microbiome and metabolite not only in the gut but also in the saliva, which can have different impact on health. Now, similarly, these are the different products which we produced in our lab using different microbes on alkaline or acidic fermentation. And when you see globally, there are many products of starter culture available. And India, we have lot of opportunity because of the diversity which we have. And if we are able to convert some of the traditional food to a global market with proper research from selection of starter culture to clinical trial proving these products, then it will be really good for the community as well. So these are some of the products with biocapeptide which are commercialized. Like I told you, product in Calpis in Japan, which can reduce blood sugar. Like similarly, there can be product with for bone health, mineral absorption, or some other cardiovascular problems. Now, apart from this, I just brief about some of the other fermentation or biotransformation which takes place in food and feed. Many of you will not be aware that you get a lot of edible insects as well. Like in different, not only in India, northeastern part of India, if you go, many of the insects are edible insects, and they can have important metabolites which can have important health benefit. Now, fermentation or biotransformation of these have also been useful for production of biocapeptides or lipids or many other molecules which can have anti-tumor, antiviral, or immunomodulatory effect. Like if you see these are the products which has been even commercialized in other countries, like insect lipids rich in omega-3, like it can be in cosmetics or some other poultry feed, or even for human consumption also it is allowed in some countries. It depends on the regulation of that specific country. Like insect meal is there, which is rich in protein or essential amino acid, which is again many products are available. So people have used fermentation, enzymatic hydrolysis for converting this edible insect into value-added product like bioactive and this insect meal or some other products as well. So apart from food, people have also applied microbes isolated from this traditional fermented food or other ecological niches for biotransformation of this low value agro waste to a high value product. So if you see in India and stands second actually, and the huge amount of agro waste which is produced either from fruit, vegetable, agriculture residues, many, and sometimes it creates problem also like pollution problem associated with them. But if you see, they are very much rich in nutrients, like they are rich in pectin, they are rich in protein, like many of the byproduct, like fish industry byproduct or tannin industry byproduct, or they are rich in many other polyphenols, which can have impact and health benefit if they are purified or if they are recovered from these waste and applied for nutrition, animal feed or functional feed, which is having a huge demand in the current scenario. Now, if like people have applied straticulture or a specific enzyme producing grass microbes for converting this agro waste by solid state fermentation or many other fermentative approach to recover polyphenol, dietary fibers, oligosaccharides, or even bioactive peptide to product having these health benefit. So mostly focus is on animal feed like poultry feed or dog feed, which are actually expensive. If you go to a particular market and if you see the dog feed, most of the dog feed is imported actually, and their price is much higher than normal food also. Now I'll give you some examples how people have done. Like for example, this many of you consume fish, and fish industry byproduct. It's create a lot of pollution problem associated with it. But if you consider the amount of fish production in India, the amount of fish waste generation in India, a huge amount of lipid, which is really beneficial lipid, rich in PUFA, omega-3. Sometimes if you go to marine fishes, it may be rich in DHA and EPA, which is important from brain. So not you can say that this waste is discarded, but you should also imagine that this much amount of EPA and DHA is discarded, this amount of essential amino acid is discarded. So people have applied fermentation approach to recover lipids and protein hydrolysis from these waste and applied them from animal feed. So this is one particular example. So this is nothing but a tannery waste. Like when you go to a leather industry, the flesh associated with the leather is the muscle actually. That is rich in protein and other molecule, which again has by fermentation and by enzymatic hydrolysis or some acidic hydrolysis, it has been transformed into product which are rich in bioactive peptide and essential amino acid. This is again for animal feed. Like earlier I've shown how it can be converted into functional food. Now these are some aspects where agri-waste residues or some other low-cost product can be converted into functional animal feed. Now this is an example of whey, which is a byproduct of cheese industry, where how it can be converted into products which are rich in bioactive peptides. So this is again from our research where we identified some novel bioactive peptide, predicted their function and validated their function for antioxidant and ACE inhibitory property. So this even it is important muscle building and other nutraceutical functional food applications. So India, I told you earlier, we are an agriculture country where lot of huge amount of biomass is produced. So there is also opportunity of converting this biomass into animal feed or some other, not only feed but other aspect as well. So I have given example how it can be converted to feed. Like this is where we isolated many microbes from high altitude region and for xylene and cellulose production, and applied xylene recovered from these biomass for conversion of xylene into xylo oligosaccharide, which is having prebiotic property and also antioxidant property. So these can be converted for functional animal feed with for their value addition instead of burning it and creating pollution associated problems. So these are some data where we are able to produce this biomass from rice straw, corn cob, sugarcane bagasse into xylooligosaccharide. We did the scale up of this till 5 liter. We are now going to for higher scale up for transfer of technology for production of prebiotic oligosaccharides. Now, see, microbes are associated with so many. Like I just for your awareness that how what is the source of yeast actually in many traditional alcoholic beverages. So these are different starter culture which is there in northeastern part of India, and they are being preserved. Many of you are microbiologists, but I must say that generally we complain that okay, we are getting contamination when we do this, we get contaminated. Now, there are many traditional people, tribal people in the northern part of India. They are preserving this culture since many generations without much contamination. Definitely, contamination is there, but at least they are preserving the key starter, which is doing the fermentation process. Every batch they are doing. So this is nothing but the traditional starter culture, which is there, and you can. What is our role as a scientist, as a researcher, is that to characterize this starter culture and apply them in industrial process for helping the biomanufacturing of alcohol in a better way, which can help these people to avoid contamination and even export some of the product to the international market. So this is what we expect actually in the biotransformation of fermented food industry. The presently these pictures of are there where we generally go to people and see how it is done actually. Now, if you can see behind us, there is a rack of jute and all wooden racks. So there actually they are doing the solid state fermentation, and below if you see they are burning it for the cooking and all, and that particular is giving the heat, and we generally keep an incubator, but this heat is provided in a higher temperature where this bacillus does the fermentation of soybean. So traditionally, how it is done and what we need in the future, actually, if we are doing more science, understanding the microbes, understanding what the microbe done, selecting a proper strain which does the job, we can definitely go for establishing better platform for production of this food, and which can have better outcome in the market for the local population. So with this, I would like to conclude that what is important and what can be done in traditional biotransformation. See, first to understand what is the microbial diversity, what is the microbial diversity associated with this traditional food, and once you understand that, you select a microbe which does the fermentation, you select a microbe which does improve the functionality. So it all depends on what you need, which metabolite you want to improve, which peptide you want to improve. Specifically, in peptide also, what property of peptide you want to improve. So that if you're doing that, understanding the mechanism, how it does that, improve the bioactivity and characterize the molecule, see the effect on microbes, gut microbes, and how it is associated with other metabolic disorders. A lot of study has to be done. It's not a period of 2 or 3 years. Huge amount of time has to be provided, and to understand, to bring or to translate this traditional fermented food as functional food for the future. So I would like to acknowledge these people where we visit, and they are so kind enough to make us understand what is the how they prepare traditionally. So that helps us to explore their knowledge, traditional knowledge, for our scientific studies. So once they explain, that helps us to plan our experiment, that how they do it, what is the drawback and what is the benefit. We also spend 1 or 2 days with them, and it is always a kind hospitality which we get. The food which we get, really grateful to them. I'm grateful to the funding agencies which have helped us to do a lot of research in this particular aspect. Either ICMR, most importantly DBT, because I worked in DBT institutes, and my both institutes, the Royal Society also funded our research. My students, their hard work which I'm presenting here, and collaborators definitely, Professor Andrew Hemmings, where we do the artificial gut facility and other aspects. So if you have any query, not only now in future as well, you can email me or on similar research platform. So thank you so much. So with more, I hope I was able to provide some glimpse of what we do and what can be done in biotransformation of food and feed industry and how it can be important for transforming lives of the people who are doing it traditionally. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Amit sir, for sparing the time, and you have delivered wonderful lecture, and you have put several examples of traditional conversion process, and you have well cited some examples of lacticultures. So now students or GAN participants are invited to ask questions if any. Yes.
So I'm happy I am able to see some participants.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, online talk we are not able to.
Yes, yes, sir. We are trying to show you some pictures, or through the video we are trying. Yes, so yes, please.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you have already discussed in your
It's not
previous.
clear actually. Your mic is.
Hello, sir. I am audible.
Yeah, it's not so clear. But you can let me see. I can understand your question or not. You can ask the question.
Okay, sir. Sir, as you have discussed about anti-nutrients in your previous slides, so my question is, how
No,
does...
I'm not able to.
Yes, come Anusha, this side. Just come in front. Yes. Come this side.
Hello? Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes.
Sir, as you have discussed about anti-nutrients in your previous slides, so my question is, how does biotransformation take initiatives in reducing anti-nutrients in cereals or legumes?
Okay. So it all depends that which anti-nutritional factor you want to target. Like if a anti-nutritional factor is proteinaceous, so then generally we apply protease producing organism. One thing I missed actually in my talk, we also work on reducing lactose. Like many people are lactose intolerant, so we apply beta galactosidase producing meat strains for hydrolyzing lactose. So like this, you with the anti-nutritional factor, if you have identified that okay, this particular anti-nutritional factor is there, so you target those anti-nutritional factor using specific biocatalyst producing organism. So that you have to add in your starter culture. So traditionally also it is happening. Like people are keeping it overnight or keeping it for fermentation to reduce the antigen factor. They don't know the science behind it. And it can be done more efficiently if you select a group of organisms which is doing the job and apply them in a controlled process.
Okay, sir. Sir, is there any project ongoing in your lab or in your supervision that in that particular area to reduce anti-nutrients in...
We are working on fermented soybean product where we are working on different soybean seed variety. There are some varieties which is claimed to not have those enzyme factor as well. So we are doing proteomics analysis to understand that how starter culture can have impact on anti-nutrients which are present in soybean. So that one, it's not complete project on that, but one of the objective of that project where we are seeing the effect of that on anti-nutrient factors.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think, sir, you can stop the sharing of screen. So there are multiple screens we are seeing this time. So yes, sir. Now it is perfectly fine. So any other question? Jyoti? No. Okay, sir. One more question is. यहाँ आइए।
Very good morning, sir. So you discussed about GABA. So
Yeah.
have you done any studies related to check the effect of GABA on cognitive health or in perspective to that?
We have not done that. We have only uh, actually GABA. We have only seen starter culture which produces GABA, but beyond that we have not gone actually because our main focus was on bioactive peptide. But definitely it is a people are exploring actually yes, in animal studies and even clinical trial as well. But we have not done that.
Okay, sir. One more thing, sir. Is there any positive impact of mm, the connection between the microorganism used and the GABA production? Like any specific species that increases more GABA
Yes.
production in some
Yes,
cases?
definitely. Means there are specific species or organism strains which are selected based on GABA. Like we screen for production of GABA, and then organisms which are producing GABA that can be applied for production of product which is having more GABA. So it depends on the specific strain.
Okay, sir. So, one more thing, sir. Which starter culture has been found to produce the most effective anti-hypertensive bioactive peptide during soybean fermentation?
A lot actually. Means people see one thing is there like in India we have this different traditional fermented food product. In Japan, they have their own product. In European countries, they have their own product. So, if we are improving a functionality of a product, it has to be product which is popular in our population. So, like in Japan, they have given two peptides, VPP, IPP, and the organism is Lactobacillus helveticus and Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So, it's a two culture fermented product. And this VPP and IPP has shown to reduce hypertension even in clinical trial. So that in clinical trial we have not done. So it is difficult to compare with once our studies is also done, then we can say which is better or and that also will differ from population to population. I told you in my talk. So I am not sure if we able to compare it. We can definitely compare from our product to our product only. We cannot compare with them.
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
definitely. Also, population varies and their gut
Yeah.
microbiota also varies. So, their byproducts also vary. So, it varies from location to location and product to product. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, if there is no further query, then we, yes, one more, sir, one more, please. Thank you. Please come forward.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, as you said that your research on soybean fermented food, so I have a question that what role do fermented soybean food plays in personalized nutrition and gut microbiome research?
Okay, so definitely it has impact on gut microbiome because we have seen also that through our study that people who are consuming this food, microbes which are associated during in this food, they get enriched in the gut. And once these microbes are getting enriched in the gut, the metabolite are getting enriched or biotransformed, it will have different impact on health. But we have in India, we have not reached at that level where we can say what is the impact, which health it is impacting. That still need to be done. Actually, we are much behind than many countries in this fermented food and like European countries, there are a lot of clinical trials. We still have to do it. We have one or two examples as only. So that health aspect part we still need to work.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, what are the challenges did you face while identifying bioactive peptides produced during fermentation?
Challenges we have not faced much, but one challenges which we are looking for in future is how to trace the viability of these peptides, that when it reaches brain or it reaches, so that definitely is a challenge, that how, because we don't know which particular peptide will get absorbed. So if there are peptides which are produced in the body after hydrolysis by trypsin chymotrypsin, it will be difficult to track them. So tracking of these peptides is a challenge. We can see the final bioactivity, but tracking them till the end point is a real challenge.
Okay, so like when we talk about fermentation, it involves like microbial involvement. So, is there any biotransformation technique where we cannot like use microbes instead, any other techniques rather than fermentation?
People also use enzymes
Okay.
for producing bioactive peptide or producing oligosaccharide. Purified enzyme they use for hydrolysis. But I always feel fermentation has a better impact because it will be economical. Like enzymes are a little expensive when you directly apply starter culture. But yeah, again, like fermentation, you cannot control other factors. Like if there is a production of bacteriopeptide, there is production of other metabolites as well. Because the culture produces everything. And in enzyme, it can be precise. If it's a hydrolysis of protein, it is only hydrolysis of protein, nothing else.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I invite Akanksha to just conclude it, and sir will again resume this session around 2.
Okay.
And Akanksha, over to you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an enriching and thought-provoking session. Your talk gave us a deeper understanding of how microbial biotransformation can add tremendous value to our food and feed systems. The insight you shared on microbial process, functional food, and nutraceutical development were truly fascinating and inspiring for all of us. With that, we now come to the end of our morning sessions. I would like to invite all the participants to proceed for lunch. Please enjoy your meal and take a short break. We'll reassemble after lunch for our next session. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, sir. I hope all of you had a refreshing lunch and some time to recharge after the insightful morning session. We will now move into an interactive tutorial session titled Discussion on Current Innovative Food Technologies and Their Impacts. This session will focus on exploring recent innovations in the food sector, their practical implications, and how these advancements are shaping the future of food and nutrition. It will also be a great opportunity for all the participants to share their views, ideas, and perspectives. To lead this session, we once again have with us Dr. Amit Kumar Rai, whose expertise in food biotechnology and microbial innovation adds.
Thank you. So hello everyone. So let me microbial technologies improvement for making it to a commercial level. But there are a lot of things. Research is one side. There are many things which is under consideration, which are also challenges that can take the research in the lab to technology in the field and technology or commercialization actually. So um, I always say there is triple E actually, and there are three things which are very important. The first thing is economical, the technology which you develop, either it's from traditional, like for example, if you get a curd in 40 rupees from home, and even if your technology is very, very good or having one specific property, but if it is not economical, then it may not sustain in the market for the common person actually. People, general awareness is very important. So economics is one thing. Second is how efficient it is, how good is the yield, how much is the conversion ratio, how much waste is again getting generated from the technology. There are several factors which are responsible for a success in a technology which is developed for the food industry. Then, with a lot of environmental challenges, we also feel eco-friendly nature of any technology. Like a same protein hydrolysate or something can be produced using acid, or can be produced using microbes as well. So definitely microbes give you upper hand, but with that technology or with biotechnological approaches, how good you are able to give the yield, or how definitely if the yield or efficiency is high, it will be economical. Apart from these, actually, whenever we go for food technological application or develop functional food or develop any nutraceutical, the first thing which comes in our mind is consumer acceptance. Like, even if you take a country like India, if you go to southern part of India, the food culture is different. If you go to northern part of India, the food culture is different. If you go to northeastern part, the food culture is very much different. Many of you will not eat what people are eating in the northeastern part. Many of you may not like South Indian dishes. So, developing any functional food which which can have acceptability at national level itself sometimes is a challenge, because if you, even if that particular food has a function, and if you don't like the taste, so in that case, obviously it is a challenge. So then to overcome this challenge, again people think of capsules, food, nutraceutical aspect of giving that particular thing. Then it comes the economics of that particular product. So you have to think in so many different aspects to bring a particular product to the market. So definitely challenges are there. Then the second thing is regulation. Like you have, we generally, I'm a part of FSI as well. So we know how challenging it is, even if you develop a product, you during a PhD or during a project, to bring that to market. There are so many factors which we have to think, either from selecting a strain, like FSI has a list of strains. If you are using any of those strains for probiotic aspect, you don't have to go for safety studies. They have a specific list of nutraceutical, that again it depends on the source of culture or the substrate or the process. So it depends on that you get the approval. So regulatory aspect is very important, and these aspects you have to take when you are starting your research itself. So after developing a technology, you realized, okay, this is very challenging to get the regulatory clearance. Then it is again not it is a failure only. So in that case, when you are going to start your research, you have to think that, okay, these are the challenges which I have to consider for regulatory clearance. You have to take. Now, in India also, like many countries have different regulatory bodies. Like for functional food, specifically for claiming health benefit, I'm not sure we have regulations or not. Like if you have a regulation, we have regulation like Japan, and they have regulation for like functional food. Like I told you, the calpis is a fermented sour milk product which reduces hypertension. So you need a specific dosage, specific dose for getting like a common person eating should eat that particular food or not, or a person having hypertension should only eat. So all, and how much it should be consumed. So again, it can if it can also have some type of negative aspect if it is not regulatory balanced actually. For these, actually, there are several policies, and research-based policies need to be made. So again, in technologies which are or research area which are very open and in terms of food technologies to first of all improving the functionality, health and nutrition, food with improved nutrition that can help in nutritional security, food with improved shelf life, like even if you develop a functional food like functional curd, how can you make it viable for 2 months or 1 month? And again, there, if it is a microbial product, like for example, a probiotic product, how long that culture is surviving in that food product for how many months, 1 month, 2 months. If you can get a product which can survive for 6 months, you really have a good product in your hand. Like again, these are challenges actually, and which need to be taken care. Like in case of anything like culture, many of you will be knowing kanji drink actually. So people say that it's a probiotic, but many don't know that how much culture that probiotic culture for how long it is surviving. Like it is stored for 6 months in many cases, but are those culture viable after 3 months or 2 months that can give the particular property which is that particular product is claiming? So all these things need to be looked after and done. Then stability of particular molecule, like nowadays we have a lot of nanotechnology approaches which are also coming in, which are applied in food technology or in terms of nutraceutical, like in terms of peptide, in terms of polyphenol, for improving the viability or of that particular food for targeted approach where it should reach the target tissue for giving the particular health benefit. So these things are there. Then you also have the sustainability, like any technology. Like sometimes we are very enthusiastic. Okay, this particular resource, like this particular fruit, is having a good property. So we develop a product from that particular fruit, and generally it has happened so many times that you are able to meet the demand for the first year. But once the demand increases, the productivity is not so high, and you're not to meet the demand of any functional food or any nutraceutical, we say. So definitely, there are opportunities, but there are also challenges in functional food research. I'll be happy to discuss in this with you. I feel this session will be great if it is more interactive and things should come from more from your end than my side. So let's. I feel we can start now having an interactive session.
Sir, thank you, Amit sir, for throwing light on important constraints related to technology and innovations. So now we are inviting some queries from your side. You may ask some questions related to some functional food preparation technologies and their impact assessment related things, and even you can ask some questions which we have left during our first lecture of sir related to fermented food. So I request everyone to come one by one and ask their questions. So we'll start from the last section.
So I'm sure participants will be from different part, actually different part of the state and country. So even if you have any experience with your food fermentation, some traditional which I might not be knowing, I'll be happy to hear from you as well. Like I feel this session should be from both the sides, and there if I can add few things on the traditional things which is happening, or how we can work together to improve it or bring it. If there is something which is having more potential in your locality, your tradition,
definitely,
it will be great to hear that as well.
Sure, sir, sure. And because we from morning we are studying this fermentation aspect, so I'm sure everybody has some questions in their mind that how we are fermenting the food and what kind of health benefits, and especially your area is bioactive peptides. So I'm sure they will ask these kind of the questions, and your research will help them to further networking with you also, sir. So I invite last, who is there? Come. So just a minute, sir. Please come forward.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, my question is that are there any negative ecological impacts of technology like lab grown meat or vertical farming?
For?
Sir,
Sorry, last.
are there any negative ecological impacts of technologies like lab grown meat or vertical farming?
Vertical farming, okay. So I don't see much negative impact. There might be when we see negative impact comes when these technologies are adopted and it goes for some years. Then something surprisingly it comes actually. So as such, vertical farming is very successful in many other countries. That's why in India it is becoming more popular. And especially in country like India where there is less space and the population is growing more. So there are more of advantages only if you ask me.
Yes, sir. So thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, like, I wanted to ask, like, you talked me more about that soya bean fermentation, which is like mostly consumed in northeast states. So, like,
Sorry. Can you please start again?
fermented soya bean.
Yeah.
So, like, mostly consumed in northeast areas.
Yeah.
So, like, I have personally experienced about that. Like, there is a pungent smell in that. So, what
Yes.
technology can be implemented to that? Because, like, that can be widely consumed by them because they know that it smells like that, it tastes like that. But implementing that in other states, they won't accept it because I have,
True.
like, directly I have experienced that. I have few my friends, so I had been in that contact. So, which was not acceptable from my side because it's like we can't even express that smell how it is. So what technology can be implemented to reduce that?
Okay. So that's what I was telling earlier also. The major challenge with food technology is what in a country like India where there is a lot of diversity, what you eat sometimes I may not like, sometimes what I eat you may not like. Now you are asking me for a technology to reduce the taste and flavor of that particular cinema
So
product.
taste and flavor, like at least we can consider that. But what about that smell? Before tasting,
yes,
before going to that, we have to accept that smell first.
So you want to reduce the smell, but
Yes,
if the
yes.
smell is reduced, they may not accept the product.
So, but like
So,
when
that is the thing. That's what I'm telling. Many of the this is fermented soybean. I have been to Manipur, where you have fermented fish product.
Yes, sir. Yes, huh.
And I was telling you in the morning that some of the fish product is in underground condition. Okay, and the after 1 year it is dried and it is used in every vegetables they use
Exactly. Yes, sir.
actually,
Yes, huh.
and that gives you an improved taste and flavor. They like it actually.
Yes. So I have personally asked them about this, like this soya bean, bamboo shoot, and fish. Three also I have came across, and I asked them directly that okay, taste. Okay, we can consider that it's very tasty, but before going to taste, how do you accept the smell? They said that yes, we also don't like the smell. Bamboo shoot they tolerate, but soya bean it's more worse than that. So they themselves say that we do understand that it's very pungent smell, but because of the taste, we neglect the smell. Like they
No,
all.
but it's due to biogenic amines and other molecules which gives the flavor, which gives the taste as well.
Yes.
So it's not that you can remove it. But the second thing what I want to say is, for us to accept it, we can remove and convert them into hydrolysate where these smell can be removed. That we are also working on that. Where we have a drying process or something, we have some powder, supplemented powder, same fermentation process, which is not having that particular smell. So, but that will not go as a same product. It will go as a different product, as a supplement or as a capsule or something like that. But it may not, that particular product we cannot change because that is the acceptability of one particular population.
Exactly.
Definitely we can use the same process if there is a specific benefit, for example. Like if that particular product is having good antioxidant property or good antihypertensive property, you also want to have that property for yourself from the same soybean based product. We can definitely develop, but then that particular quinoa will not be called as quinoa. It will be a soya hydrolysate or it will be a fermented food additive from soya or something like that. But I hope you understand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So something traditional, you have to keep it for consumer acceptance of that particular place.
Yes, sir.
For other place, we can have different product with the same technology.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I just want to ask, what skills should students like us should develop if we want to work in the field of this food innovation in future?
Can you please, the beginning part of the question I was not clear to me.
So, what skills should students like us should develop if we want to work in the field of food innovations in future?
Okay. So if you have interest in the field of functional food, and the first thing is the interest.
Yes,
if you have interest, one by one, you will get all the skills. So you'll try to learn it actually. See, first thing is, if it depends, if you want to work on microbially fermented food, then you should have some microbial skills like microbiology, where you can isolate some cultures, apply them for fermentation. And but to be very frank, I had PhD students who were not having any knowledge on microbiology, but they are now. So their skills of bioinformatics was used in the second or third year of their project, but they started with microbiology. So skill definitely you can learn and adapt. Actually, if you have interest in that particular field, you do some good research. You should have skill in different aspects. Like if you what the research expertise, it team needs a chemist for characterizing the bioactive peptide or to do animal studies. Okay, and we also collaborate with doctors. So it, all you learn once you go step by step further, definitely you can.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. Okay, so again, if this is something again which is answer will be there are many things which is important actually. See your interest, like biomedical vaccines, or people are getting more attracted to the agriculture, an important part of the country, where people are working on crops with different stress conditions, or because in coming years it is going to be a challenge to rise at higher temperature and rise in flooded condition, wheat or some other crops in flooded conditions. So the even in agriculture, the nutrition, like in our institute, we are working on golden banana, where which can be used for treating malnutrition. You know, it has your research priorities has to be based on the challenges which our country is facing. Like if you see malnutrition or vitamin B12 deficiency or such things are really challenging. So if you can treat any one of them, I will say treating or solving one problem is also a big thing. At least you lead to your research can lead to a road where you can in future you can solve such problem is also very important. Like it is up to your interest always. Like if you want to work on food and mental health, again, which is a problem which many people don't know, food and immunity. Okay, food or cardiovascular disease. Like how many of us are pre-diabetic? We don't know actually.
Yes.
So it again depend on the interest where you want to go ahead, and definitely many fields are important. I can start from nowadays artificial intelligence in food technology or artificial intelligence in any field. It's again depend on 100% depend on your interest. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So my question is that how gut fermentation profile can guide personalized or precision nutrition strategies for improving gut and systemic health?
Okay. So yeah, it's a good question. Like many times when we do studies on fermented food and gut microbiome, like morning also I was telling you, like especially the transformation of that gene to equal, it happens in some particular population, or specific health benefit you get in one particular. If anything is mediated through gut microbiome, or then definitely it has to be studied in that particular location, or that particular tribal population, or that particular food habit, people with that particular food habit. Like see, for example, in Kerala, many people they take coconut oil, which is rich in saturated fatty acids. Or when you come to northern part of India, mustard oil is there. But again, it is complemented with marine fishes, consumption of marine fishes in southern part of India. So it all definitely precision nutrition is coming up in a bigger way. People are working for food for geriatric population, food for maternal health, food for infants, food for this specific population, and that will only happen if extensive research is done. Like many of the probiotic in the market, if you see, they are imported. We are not sure. People definitely are getting positive outcome of it, but we also have indigenous probiotic from our traditional fermented food, which may have a better impact. But studies on clinical trial, because the precision nutrition studies, either in male, female, like even differences in a particular transformation or a particular benefit will be higher in females or higher in males also. That all these studies need to be done. It has to be proven through clinical trials, which is much needed in many functional food products. Then only you can say, okay, but definitely precision nutrition will be an important topic and it is going to come in the future.
So, sir, can we select probiotic based on individual fermentation profile?
See, individual fermentation in the see one thing, when we say fermentation and when we say probiotic, many times we feel that probiotic will do the fermentation. Many times for the particular product, a fermentative strain is different, a probiotic strain is different. Okay, so it is from fermentation. Definitely, you can select a probiotic strain which you can apply, but it has to be mixed culture approach. A probiotic strain should fulfill all the criteria, all the guidelines by ICMR. You have seven, if you do it has 7 to 8 variables like acid tolerant, bile tolerant, hydrophobicity, antimicrobial property. There are several guidelines, and a count of this much log CFU is more important, which many cultures they fail. So once these guidelines are passed, either it is from traditional fermented food or any particular food, it will be working as a probiotic.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
In developing reasons.
Okay, you have asked technical end and at PhD levels, at project level, and like scale up of 500 liter or some even higher than that actually. So that has to be transformed at higher level. The and some of them are even showing in animal models, but those properties need to be validated in clinical trials in different populations. Then it will be able to come to the market. So these two are the.
Can fermentation help in designing food suitable for people those who are having certain condition like lactose intolerance?
Trying to reduce lactose in cheese and curd by using starter culture. Definitely fermentation can help. And there are reports also, our studies also show that we have received around 85.
Question is that apart from anti-nutrient reduction, is biotransformation that much?
I have not seen any Indian technology which has shown that reduction of starter culture, lactic acid bacteria or yeast, which can reduce aflatoxin level on food fermentation. See, after part of your diet, and other part is non-fermented food, which you take. So that has to be controlled in the initial stage.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So my question is, are there any safety or regulatory concern associated with the use of bioactive peptides in food products?
Okay, so regulatory concern definitely is there because health benefit is associated with it. So, like if, like I told you, there is a body in Japan for food for specific health use actually. So they control that this much should be the dosage. That's why if the clinical trial is done and a dose is decided, okay, morning this much ml or this much gram of this particular product you take for these many days, it will control your blood pressure because it should not go again in an adverse way. So both is toxicity in terms of excessive consumption, anything is toxic, So when something is related with health, it will definitely have regulatory as well as toxicological impact.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I'm more curious about to know about the 3D food printing, that how it can be used for the personalized diet.
Okay, see, it is coming in a lot of work is being done in 3D food printing, but I'm not sure how it will help in personalized diet because I've not gone through much in this aspect. But definitely it has a lot of scope. Specific scope I will be not be able to tell now.
Sir, how does it will be affecting the taste?
Yes, it has a role actually, but not only taste in terms of improving specific health aspect molecule and order. It has definitely impact, but specifically I will not be able to comment now.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My question is, what challenges exist in producing or isolating bioactive peptides at a commercial level?
See, cost is one. It has to be economical, and because many times people don't miss if it is for a upper middle class, people generally purchase it. But in our country, many large portion of the population is middle or below middle class. So if the technology is economical, it can reach to diverse population and more. So economics is one thing, and definitely the stability of these peptides. Once research is conducted that this particular peptide in clinical trial is doing this particular job, then it is much better. It will be very much useful. So people generally, when people talk about bioactive peptide, they talk about stability of these peptides, which is an important factor. So these are the two important aspects, and there can be many other like acceptability in terms of a regulatory challenge actually. The regulations need to be made for the dosage or at what concentration, at which age group all this product need to be applied. So a lot of research need to be done once it is made commercial in food products.
So mainly it is economic and
Stability of these peptides means this peptide should not get broken down after it is consumed. Like I was telling you, pepsin, chymotrypsin, or such enzymes, it has to escape the digestion before it reaches to the target tissue. So that's stability I'm talking about. Stability of these peptide to give the desired health benefit.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And one more question. What future applications do you foresee for bioactive peptides and biotransformed foods in nutraceuticals and functional foods?
A lot actually, a lot of opportunity in terms of cardiovascular diseases, or because see people in terms of geriatric food also it is coming up because fermented food is large extent it is digested. So either because it's microbially fermented, so protein is digested, carbohydrate is digested, not completely, but at some extent it is digested and it is good for geriatric population. Then it is also good for improving gut health, which is coming up in it. Because nowadays people are much aware than 5 or 10 years, and especially after COVID, people are looking for functional food with specific benefit. So definitely there are a lot of potential, lot of scope in each area. Now from last few 5 years, actually, I am also seeing research on effect of fermented food on mental health, because mental health is also important aspect either in terms at different age group, in terms of students or in terms of workspace. So food with improved mental health, immunity, and cardiovascular is really having more potential.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, in India, doctors recommend functional foods along with medicines.
Sorry?
Sir, in India, do doctors recommend functional foods along with medicines for various disorders like diabetes or cardiovascular disorders?
No, it's not so clear. What you're asking, functional food and medicine?
No, sir, like for disorders like diabetes and cardiovascular diseases, doctors recommend medicines, but do also recommend functional foods along with them.
See, one thing, like functional food can never treat a disease, it can only prevent it. So, when people say that, okay, functional food can treat this, treat that, I don't agree to it. So, it can definitely reduce the burden of medicine. Or if you have not started taking medicine, like you're pre-diabetic or something at level where you want to prevent to reach a stage where you definitely has to take medicine. So at that level, it can definitely help you. So, but it can definitely not compete with medicine. Medicine is next level. People show research of functional food with metformin or some other drug that it is as a positive control, but a lot of clinical trial need to be done to confirm that.
Thank you, sir.
Very good evening, sir. So,
Good evening.
during previous question, you were discussing about cognitive health. So, what type of research or experiment you have conducted related to cognitive health?
So again, see, you have to identify what receptor you're targeting or which, because it depends on the receptor what fermented food you will take. Like it can be peptide based or polyphenol based or anything. So in cognitive health, you already know that PUFA or EPA, DHA are having impact. So that again, it depends on which mechanism you are targeting. So these molecules have different mechanism. Peptide will have different mechanism. So your experimental plan will depend on the approach which you want to apply to targeted cognitive health, and that actually will decide the molecule which you want to take and metabolite which you want to take for further experiment, which has to be taken first characterization, then validation through cell culture method, then definitely with animal studies and followed by clinical trial. So this is a approach for everything, but a specific receptor or a specific molecule need to be understood.
So, let's take an example. In my study, I will take a dual fermented millet product to target neurodegeneration, to prevent the neurons, basically. So, what type of challenges I can face during my research that I should keep
Fermented
in
millet means
mind?
Haryana, you're talking about Rabri.
No. It's different, sir. I will make some other using foxtail millet and finger millet. I will prepare a fermented product. It can be bread or it can be some drink.
So again, like
it will depend.
once you have prepared a product and then you are deciding a property, for example, first you have to understand that what is a molecule in the fermented product, what are different type of molecule it is getting produced.
Okay.
Are those molecules important enough for cognitive disease? Understood?
Yes, sir.
So if, for example, if you don't have many molecules in the fermented product, like in anything, peptide or polyphenol or anything, which will be useful for cognitive function, then I will say you avoid it. You should always follow, first characterize the product. Once you have characterized the product, and then you find, okay, this product is rich in XYZ, and that XYZ is known for this particular thing, and that XYZ is there in improved concentration in your product, either anything, cognitive or anything, then you go for further. Then you decide that, okay, this particular disease I want to target, or this particular function I want to target.
So, sir,
So first you need to characterize it completely, either in terms of protein or in terms of polyphenol, metabolism. Nowadays, lot of techniques are there to completely characterize it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, sir, my hypothesis is to enhance the GABA production in the product.
Okay, so then what you have to do, you have to select strain. Have you selected a strain which produces GABA?
Sir, not yet. So my
So your first step is to screen strains which is producing GABA, and then you apply those strains as a co-starter in for the fermentation process, and then you see that GABA is produced in the fermented product or not. Then at what concentration it is produced, how we can improve the concentration, and then you think of applying them in animal model for cognitive function or.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you
Understood?
so much, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, does biotransformation solve the food feed soul competition for biomass?
Sorry.
Does
Can you?
Does biotransformation solve the food
feed fuel competition for biomass?
I'm not clear with the question. Does biotransformation
Solve the food feed
sold?
solve food feed competition.
I'm really not clear with the question. I'm not getting it.
Biotransformation solve.
Sold
Solve. Resolve the food feed competition for biomass.
for biomass. Okay. So you are asking that biotransformation product and can solve the issue
Yes.
with our biomass.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so definitely biomass can be transformed into different product using biotransformation, and again it depends which biomass you want to take. That biomass is rich in which specific type of molecule and substrate like protein rich biomass or carbohydrate rich biomass, and then you apply starter culture or microbial consortia to transform that biomass into desired product. So definitely it can solve the issue.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I just want to ask you, as I want to research something, can you just recommend something in which can you tell me which fermented food models or microbial community would you recommend for studying bioformation in depth?
Okay, so the one which is least studied, you find out like a lot of work has been done on fermented milk product, and nowadays trend is towards plant-based fermented product. So you have to do some literature survey on first of all what should be your target actually, why you want to work on that, what you want to solve using working on that. So
Sir,
those things, yeah.
So actually, I'm just enroll my PhD right now. So I'm just looking for my PhD topic, in which topic I should do a research. So I am very interested and fascinating to do a research in fermentation. That's why I'm looking.
Okay. No, so it's difficult to decide a PhD topic now. Definitely, but you can see broadly. I can tell you. See, plant-based functional food product is gaining popularity, and if it is linked with any particular disease or disorder, again based on some scientific facts, based on characterization of metabolites, characterization of molecule, or specific microbial consortia. So definitely you can target. You have to see that what is a trend, what is a problem you are solving in a particular state or particular country. What is a major problem people are facing, and how your food product with a strong hypothesis can solve that particular problem. Okay, so it needs a lot of discussion, lot of study, lot of literature survey to decide that actually.
So as I study, mostly diabetes are commonly nowadays in India. It's too much. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to working on that.
Diabetes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have to look for molecules which can inhibit DPP4 or alpha amylase or alpha glucosidase. These are some enzymes which are associated with diabetes. So people have again done a lot of work in food fermentation and specifically on peptide which can inhibit these enzymes which are associated with diabetes. So first you have to read a lot that what work has already been done and what gap is there in that particular research which we can take forward. Okay, so that you should take. In diabetes also, fermented food and diabetes, many fermented food, hypertension, lot of work has been done. So once you read completely and find the actual gap which you want to solve through your studies.
Thank you so much, sir.
So my question is, how do AI and data analytics contribute to improving food production and reducing waste?
AI and
Data analytics.
okay. So see, it has role in various aspects, in terms of optimization skills, in terms of predicting function of a molecule. Like when we work on large data analysis of different type of metabolite which is produced to predict a function of a peptide, for example, which is driven by sequences and which can driven by structure. And when you want to screen a lot of peptide in a shorter period of time, so these techniques are getting more popular for all these things. And many aspects actually. I just gave one example. It can be many actually. If you read, you will come to know.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Discussion has suggest that about current innovative food technology. So it is basically considered as advanced technology that I think may be expensive and less accessible to low income people. So, sir, what's your opinion in that case?
So this is a challenge actually. Yes, I started this session with economical and efficient and eco-friendly, triple E actually. So technologies are coming up, but for in our country, it's a big challenge to give the outcome of that particular technology to common person. So to give that particular technology to common person, it has to be very economical so that if it has to replace, like for example, a curd with more of this one particular vitamin or has to replace the normal curd which is you are getting in the market. So if a normal curd you are getting in 40 rupees and this you are getting in 50 rupees, sometimes people will consider. But if you are getting this in 120 rupees, common person will not be able to afford it. So the technology has to be efficient and economical to meet the demand of a common population.
Yes, sir. And
So that
also,
itself is a challenge which need to be addressed.
thank you, sir. And I also want to share my experience, which I've
Yeah.
already shared in my previous session regarding fermentation techniques. That as I am from Bengal, so there in most rural areas during the preparation of alcoholic beverages, fermentation occurs spontaneously,
Yes.
leading to uncontrolled microbial activity caused by microbial contamination, which ultimately poses risk food toxicity among people. So awareness and knowledge and good hygiene practice, I think, is the most important part which should be maintained in fermentation process. So
Yeah.
that's it, sir.
No, what you're telling is very right actually. I know hospitalization in many cases, but in some cases because the hygienic approach even at home level, technologies in such a such level actually need to be improved. So that's why it is our role to have technology which can replace at village level actually. So many industries where you can, because I was showing you a picture that how they used to ferment soybean.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So we used to get soybean from the market. We were not knowing that how it is fermented at that particular level. So after seeing that, we come to know, okay, these are the challenges they in these food products. So definitely infrastructure need to be improved, hygienic.
No, no further question. Okay. So my last question will be from all the audience side, sir. So, sir, can you throw some light on the impact of certain innovative technologies on the current scenario? Can you brief with one or two example, if possible, sir? Thank you.
Okay. So this, I'll give one example actually. When I was traveling in the northeastern part, I went to a place called Champai, and while I was going, because I have visited many parts of Northeast India, I have shown some picture also, so that how they used to ferment soybean. So this technology. So what was interesting for me, like that particular district is in very remote. Like it is in Mizoram. From Aizawl, we traveled to 6 hours towards Bangladesh border, if I remember. And it was beyond my expectation. I saw a very good wine industry there, and 11,000 liter fermenter, if I'm not wrong. There were 15 or 20, and the whole village at that particular place they cultivate grapes. So yes, I was happy with the um, planning actually. So village they grow grapes. Those grapes are used by the industry, not very big industry, but wine is produced to good quality wine, Champai wine, and it is distributed to different states. So it's example of a food industry only, which is properly hygienic condition they are maintaining. So it's not a big thing actually. It has to be planned in such a way that how things can be economical, how challenges can be improved. If the raw material has not to come from very far distance, definitely the travel part can be. If grapes in grown in the same villages where the wine processing industry or fermentation industry is there, and then it can be. It is definitely used for the farmer. See, any food processing industry, the raw material comes from the farmers. And nowadays, government is thinking of doubling farmer income or Atmanirbhar Bharat. So we have to think that how we can serve or how we can improve the economic condition of the people who are in the ground level, like farmers, they are producing the raw material. So this is one example actually. Similarly, many things can be done. So industries associated near to the raw materials, if it is in a smaller scale, if very big industry, definitely at state level one or something like that. So if things we are giving it back to the farmers and developing technologies which can help them, that will be a greater aspect. And definitely, we also always have to think about the challenges which will come in the future. Now we are in such a state of our research. We know what have been the failures of our seniors or what has been the failures of our peers in the research. So we should definitely read about success of people, but you should always read failures of the people as well. So at least we should their failure also is a education for us, and that education will help us to succeed further in anything. The failure not telling in research, but failure I am telling in a broader sense when we think to bring that particular technology into commercialized level or ground level. So what are failures they have faced? So that education must to bring any technology into and this whatever we are doing research as a PhD student or as a project student, we can definitely bring it to the commercial level.
Yes, so thank you very much, Dr. Amit. You have nicely quoted several examples, and you have settled the queries of our GIAN participant. And I'm sure everybody is benefited from this interesting lecture. And in morning, you have explained various aspect of food and feed and food biotransformation. That was another interesting aspect of towards the sustainable development. And in that continuation, you have explained various innovative technologies, and you have quoted some examples, and even you have shared your personal experiences as a scientist and you have worked a lot in food fermentation, gut microbiota, and bioactive peptide purifications and all aspects. So I'm sure everybody is excited to get into enter in this exciting area of research. And surely, sir, will take your guidance in further also. And with this, thank you very much for your time and sparing your whole day with us. I can say whole day because you have started from morning and till evening. So thank you very much again, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah, I would have happy to visit there. Actually, unfortunately, and my apologies, I was not able to join this time.
Yes.
But
Yes,
hope,
sir. Sure, sure,
I
sir.
hope you all the best for the complete course actually, and I'm sure you people are doing well.
Sure, sir. We will invite you again in this campus at sometimes, and at that time, hopefully, you will be able to come, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Amit. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Want to say? Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Control L.
Thank you, sir. To wrap up the day, I would now like to invite Ms. Jyoti to provide a concluding summary of the lectures and sessions we had today. Please, Jyoti.
Thank you so much, Akanksha. As we come to close the day 5 of the GIAN course, it's wonderful. It's so wonderful to reflect on the day enriched with scientific learning, culture connections, and meaningful discussions around the theme of fermentation and food transformation. We begin the day with an enlightening lecture on fermented traditional wine from palm tree, which which highlighted its microbial diversity, nutritional profile, and health promoting properties. This session emphasized how traditional fermentation practices not only preserve indigenous knowledge but also hold great potential in promoting gut health, nutrient bioavailability, and functional food development. The second session, led by the Dr. Amit K. Rai, uh, he deepers into the fascinating area of bio transformation of food through microbial systems. He introduced us to the traditional fermented foods of the Himalayan region, such as kanji, chopre, and fermented soybean, explaining their microbial ecology, metabolic pathways, and nutritional evaluation. Dr. Rai elaborated on how microorganisms such as Bacillus subtilis, Lactobacillus plantarum, etc., play a key role in protein breakdown, flavor development, and formation of bioactive peptides. His discussion on the production and characterization of these peptides with their antioxidant, ACE inhibitory activity, and anti-inflammatory properties highlighted their immense nutraceutical potential. He further explored how fermentation enhances polyphenolic content and antioxidant activity, demonstrating how microbial activity can naturally upgrade the nutritional quality of foods. A particularly innovative part of his talk discussed on edible insect fermentation, where fermentation improves flavor, texture, safety, and protein digestibility. These are the emerging frontiers for sustainable food systems and alternative protein sources. This lecture beautifully connected traditionally practices and modern biotechnology insights, showing how microbial transformation can be a bridge between culture, nutrition, and sustainability. The day concluded with an engaging discussion session where participants actively shared questions, perspective, and even reflections on regional queries and fermentation practices, making the both the scientific and culturally vibrant session. Today's session truly reminded us that the art and science of fermentation continues to evolve, holding immense promise for innovation in nutrition and health. Finally, I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the speakers, participants, and the organizers for their active participation and enthusiasm throughout the day. Your curiosity, discussion, and exchange of ideas made today's session even more interactive and enriching. We look forward to carry this same energy into the upcoming sessions of the GIAN program. We look forward to see you tomorrow with the more engaging sessions and discussions. Thank you and have a wonderful evening. Yeah, we have tea break as well from 4 to 4:30. You guys enjoy.